2023, let's talk about that as a whole to begin with, Dave. It's been a bit of an up and down year. Is that fair for you and Liam?
I think it's really been mostly an up year. I think the down part is the fact that he got injured. So in the final of BL, the wrist, which had been hurting him all week, but in the final really broke down. And he took 3 weeks to try and get it ready for Banjaluka, and we went there, and it pretty much held up for 2 matches, and then in the third match, it started to hurt again. Plus, he started to feel his ab a little bit there, so we took a longer time out, a month, and came back this week to Tunisia, and yeah, I mean the conditions were very difficult. It was very windy. We'd had a lot of rain, and it really was not one of his best matches for sure.
So how is the wrist right now?
Basically has the same problem as Emma Raducanu, and the surgeon has said with a situation like this, it's all about whether you can manage it and the level of pain that you can manage, or it's pain or discomfort. And if you can keep it at a level where you can play, you're not going to do any further damage. You just can either play on it or you can't. And right now, Liam feels that he's doing a lot of different wrist exercises and managing it, and the discomfort level is easily manageable for him. So it's not affecting his play. It's not perfect, but it's definitely not stopping him from playing full out. And I think.
Go on, David.
Sorry, I think just on, obviously, although Tunisia was not a good match and having been out for 4 weeks, the good thing is the body came through intact.
Does the timing of this have an impact on decisions regarding the injury? For example, we've got the French Open qualifiers beginning at the beginning of next week, and we've also got Wimbledon not that far away. Home territory, also familiar territory in terms of success last year, being Diego Schwartzman among others. Does that play an impact in terms of the physical situation with Liam right now?
I mean, certainly it's not a time of year that he wants to miss, and I think the other thing that's even more prevalent is the fact that he's not defending a lot of points, and he wasn't on the clay, and unfortunately he's basically going to play 3 tournaments on clay. That's it, which is a shame, because after BL he was in a very, very good position to move his ranking forward towards top 100, and through the whole summer he really has an opportunity. So in terms of timing of when this has happened, it's never good timing to have an injury. But for the window of opportunity that he has had for the clay, but now for the rest of the clay, the French and grass and the hard courts in America, is quite a big opportunity. So if he can manage it throughout the summer, that would be advantageous. He might be able to manage it for the rest of his career. But if it does break down again, then we're going to have to look at wrist surgery.
What's the situation? When is Liam going to be playing his first round? It'll either be Monday or Tuesday, am I right?
That's correct.
Ready? Play.
Well, hello there. It's Friday night, Well, it is in the UK. It's probably more Friday night in Europe. It's Friday afternoon if you're in the US. Maybe if you're very lucky, Friday morning. And we're here for the second Roland Garros semi-final between two men who, according to the stats appearing on the screen right now, have spent pretty much exactly the same amount of time on court en route to the semi-final. One only short by 10 minutes compared to the other. But it's between last year's finalist Casper Ruud against two-time Roland Garros semi-finalist Alexander Zverev, a man who perhaps in many ways has been unfortunate not to have made a Roland Garros final, given one year he was one set away from doing it against Stefanos Tsitsipas in 2021, and then injury intervened against Rafael Nadal in 2022. Casper Ruud is a man that has been long hyped to do great things at Roland Garros for a very long time. And the fact that he's at the semi-finals 2 years in a row is a sign of that. Finalist last year. This is Zverev's third consecutive Roland Garros semi-final. The players have warmed up. They're walking out on court. Chat, let me know what you think of this match. It's going to be me leading the way. Shrihari will be with us soon. I'm excited to go through this with you. But let's talk. I'm happy to talk about what happened in the first semi-final between Alcaraz and Djokovic. The winner of this match will play Novak Djokovic in the final. Sorry for the spoilers. It'll be fascinating to see how this all plays out. Given the chaos perceived in this half of the draw, Ruud versus Zverev is two very solid names in there as we enter the first rally. And Zverev goes long on the backhand, trying to run after an inside forehand from Ruud. Good start from the Norwegian. 15 love. Casper Ruud wearing a white headband, sort of a orange shirt underneath what looks like to be some kind of a blue over the top of it, sort of blue and orange top, and then sort of light blue shorts. And Zverev is wearing a sort of dark, sort of grayish shirt with orange shorts. So plenty of orange to go around today, blending in well with the clay in case people go over. But yeah, now there's about 3 people watching right now. So by all means, please, let me know what your thoughts on the match. Ask me questions about the previous match. Anything you want to discuss, we will discuss. If you're watching the match and we are your commentary, thank you. Hopefully I won't spoil anything too much for you. And just let me know your thoughts on the match and what's going on. But we've got another big sort of unreturnable serve from Casper Ruud to go to 40 love so far, doing very well in this game. So to see, I know that there's probably people still recovering from what happened in the earlier semi-final, but we can talk about that as well. Ruud goes off the top of the net with his serve. I'm going to assume maybe some of you aren't watching. I'll try and describe as much as I possibly can. Maybe you're watching this because you can't find a better commentary or any coverage, and you are going backhand to backhand at the minute. Zverev goes long on the backhand, and it is the first opening game to Casper Ruud holding 2 love. We are not allowed to show the match, unfortunately. For people asking. It's it's copyrighted. We'd get taken down if we tried. Never know. Maybe one day we'll get to a big enough operation where we can do that. But unfortunately, we can't actually show live pictures. But I will describe it as best I can for you. As Alexander Zverev is now stepping out to serve. It's lovely to see you too, Jane. By the way, absolutely lovely to see you too. So I'm glad that, and I always enjoy your company. So by all means, let's have a bit of a chat while we're here. Zverev gets the opening point, 15 love. Scores might be a little bit ahead of my pictures, so I may end up watching my screen rather than the score. Zverev has an overhead which he puts into the net. And that's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, to provide you commentary in case you cannot see it. I mean, I've been at work today, so I've not really been able to, I've fortunately able to work from home, so I can have the match on mute in the background whilst I'm getting on with stuff. But now I'm on what I prefer to do, which is hang out with you guys. So let's do it. It's 15-all, second serve for Alexander Zverev. Zverev, serve, goes very short with the second. Ruud loops the forehand into play. They're trading forehands at the minute. Zverev tries to go up the line with his forehand. Ruud's backhand, middle of the court. Zverev inside out on the forehand. Backhand Ruud. It's very, very slow rally. They're still getting himself into the rhythm. They're going backhand to backhand at the minute. Zverev changes direction with the forehand to go cross court. Ruud goes up the line with the forehand. Zverev backhand moving Ruud around, sliced to get backhand to play. They're still going backhand to backhand. This is ridiculous how long this rally is. In forehand up the line, and it's too good from Zverev. Ruud again tries to go for the drop shot, but it barely reached the net. Ruud was trying everything he could to get the ball back into play. That was a 17-shot rally, and that was only the third point of the second game. So there you go. Lots of fun to be had here, maybe. I think we could be in for some, definitely some long rallies. These two are seasoned clay quarters. Should be good. Goes... I thought it was going to be an ace from Zverev, but it wasn't. It's a second serve. He's not quite found his rhythm on serve yet. Let's see what happens from the German on the second serve. This could be a real battle at the minute. Ruud is living with him, whatever he's throwing at him. But, double fault from Zverev, 30-all. See, the score ticked over as I announced it was a double fault. So, a little bit of a tightness from Zverev to begin with. Maybe because he knows how big an opportunity this is. He has been in a major final before. He reached the US Open final in 2020. As he goes, up again, just misses the first serve. Just misses it. First, he has not been to a Grand Slam final since the US Open of 2020, where he lost to Dominic Thiem in 5 sets. As Zverev serves into the box, goes forehand up the middle of the court. Ruud goes on the attack with his forehand. They're trading forehands right now. Cross court, really tough forehand from brutal cross court forehand from Ruud that Zverev can't really get much of a hold on and puts it in the tram lines. 30-40, break point. Straight away, Ruud is looking more like a solid player. He's had a better start so far. Hey, Max. Good to have you. Sad about Carlos. Yeah, it wasn't the best way for him to lose, but we'll talk about that when this point's over. So I've got 5 gets the first serve into play. Ruud gets the serve back in, though. They're trading backhands now, going backhand to backhand. Ruud goes up the line to the Zverev forehand, who moves Ruud around with it. They're trading forehands now, cross court. Ruud, again, just painting the lines with his forehand. Tries to go to the line. Oh, that's a winner! That is an incredible winner from Casper Ruud to break straight away, and it's 2-love. It is 2-love Casper Ruud. With a monster forehand winner that clinches that game. Zverev looks a little lethargic. It's not quite conditions that suit him yet, but that was a big forehand from Ruud. That was a do or die forehand moment. Just sort of whipped around his head. Nadal-like, Swiatek-like. Sorry you cried. You've had to cry earlier, Max. Yeah, it wasn't the best ending to that match. It was so good for 2 sets between Alcaraz and Djokovic. And then obviously it ended with Alcaraz cramping, and it just wasn't what we expected or hoped from a match that promised so much. And it was so good quality for a couple of hours. They're trading backhands on the opening point of this set as Zverev puts that forehand into the top of the net, and it's 15-love. Is already frustrated with himself, is the German. Definitely some highlights from that semi-final. I always thought Djokovic was going to get it, and even if Alcaraz hadn't experienced cramp, my suspicion is it was Djokovic's day. He was soaking up everything Alcaraz threw at him on the whole, and I think he would have come through in the end, even if Alcaraz didn't have the problem. To be honest, Novak's looking good. Novak's looking like someone who's looking to break some records. Double fault from Casper Ruud. That could be a momentum killer. 15-all. Let's see how this progresses. Novak Djokovic looks like in the kind of form you expect from someone who's going for a record 23rd major singles title. It was third Roland Garros title as well, which will put him solidly into the top 10 all time on the men's side, as backhand goes long from Ruud, and it's 15-30. I didn't think Carlos would cramp either. I thought his heat, maybe slightly different reasons, but I thought his conditioning would be pretty good on the whole. My only suspicion is maybe he just didn't prepare for the match well enough. He just didn't get the preparation right, wasn't prepared for how hot it was going to be. And sometimes you just don't know. Backhand from Zverev to the forehand of Ruud. Zverev runs around for a forehand. Ruud goes to the backhand. Now they're trading backhands at the minute, going cross court. There's a lot of cross court rallies in this match so far between Ruud and Zverev. Ruud goes long on the backhand, and it's 15-40. So Zverev's now got 2 opportunities to break back straight away in this opening set. Yeah, just a little bit lackluster from Ruud. He was looking much the better player for the first 2 games. He's just immediately dropped his level as soon as he's going a breakup. As we go, Ruud goes to the first serve into the net. So high tension. It's always high tension second serve break point, whether you're a club player, whether you're a casual, whether you're a professional. Ruud gets that into play. Backhand cross court to the backhand of Zverev. Ruud goes up the line with his backhand with a risky shot. Zverev gets to it. Ruud then attacks with his forehand cross court. Zverev he tried to pull the trigger on the forehand, puts it long, 30-40. He was pulled out of court again by the Ruud forehand. Ruud's doing a very good job of pushing Zverev out of court, working him side to side, and pushing him kind of almost beyond the tram lines and the baseline. Working the angles, and Zverev tried to hit a big forehand to get himself back in the point and put it long. So another break point to say for Ruud, who tries to get up the middle, but is way wide from Ruud. I know I often make mistakes on this when I'm doing commentary, but that was clearly out. Second serve safely in the middle of the box. So Ruud goes up the line with the backhand, sets up Zverev up at loopy forehand. They're kind of trading at the minute, sort of mid-court, not really going for the lines yet. They're trading forehands now. Ruud goes up the line. Zverev kind of chops it back into play. Ruud goes inside out. He's at the net, and Zverev puts it in the net. Deuce. Very well handled from Casper Ruud. Very, very well handled. Just worked it, pulled the trigger on the forehand, put Zverev at the disadvantage, came in behind to finish. Good job from the Norwegian. We're 10 minutes into this match. We are 10 minutes into this match. Ruud now getting ready to serve. Puts it kind of middle of the box, but it's first serve in play. Now they're trading forehands. Ruud's running around to hit forehands at the minute. Zverev takes it cross court. Ruud has to kind of push that back into play. He's really out of position there. Change direction on the backhand. Zverev forehand. Ruud runs around again for the forehand. They're trading up sort of the Ruud's backhand side at the minute. Now they're trading backhands. Ruud slices. Change the pace. Inside out forehand from Zverev. Backhand wide from Ruud. That was going for an inside out backhand, but it was just looped and spinning. It was clearly going wide. And it's another breakpoint opportunity for Alexander Zverev. Advantage to the German, who, Zverev, according to Matthew, is the only one of the two who has a chance against Djokovic, which I wouldn't be that extreme. I think I could see a scenario where Ruud maybe wins, but I think Zverev is much more likely to give us a good final, or it's a competitive final, depending on, because his tennis isn't that thrilling to watch. He's probably more likely to give us a competitive final than Ruud. I would agree with you there, Matthew. Absolutely. But also, depending on your view of Zverev, he's a bit of a divisive figure in the tennis fan community, as big forehand from Ruud, and Zverev had to run to try and pick it up, and now he's kind of bent over. It's Deuce, and he's kind of looked like he was bent over massaging his leg, but we're looking at Ruud, we're not looking at Zverev. I know crap could come from nerves and handling pre-match stress. That's possibly true, but Alcaraz was fine for the first 2 hours. I would agree with you if it came with like at the beginning of the match, or much earlier, like an hour in. Ruud missed the first serve, might be let. Tension is never good, whether it makes you cramp or not. caused a lot of problems. Caused a lot of problems with Świątek yesterday. Backhand wide from Ruud, frustrated with himself. It's another break point chance for Zverev. Advantage to the number 22 seed. It seems crazy that Zverev's rate is ranked that low at the minute. Frankly, he's saved himself from a massive tumble down the rankings by matching his semi-final results. So it's only up from here, given that he's got no points to defend between now and January. Ruud goes up the middle with his serve. Zverev, long on the return. It was too good. It was unreturnable, the serve. And again, Ruud saves a 4th break point this game. He hasn't had a game point yet. This game could be very much crucial because I feel like, yeah, it's almost going for about 7 minutes, this game. Ruud goes out wide, but the first serve is unreturnable. Brutal serve again. And it's advantage to Casper Ruud. First game point of this game. And if he moves to 3-love, I would imagine the momentum's going to be heavily with him in this set. And we have Shrihari with us. We have Shrihari all the way from Dubai. How are you doing? Oh, he's still setting himself up. Never mind. Oh, here we go. We're in.
Right. Yeah, sorry about that. Just managed to get on the stream.
Ruud's just pulled up. He believes he was because he just hit a forehand out, so he's missed the game point. Is now deuce. Yes, Shrihari possibly with a fresh trim, ready for the Ruud versus Zverev battle. It's taking place. It's definitely a battle. It's they're trading forehand. Zverev somehow gets that in. Slice from Ruud. Backhand, the trading backhand. Oh, that was just over the net. Zverev dictated with his forehand, and Ruud can't get to it. And Zverev has earned himself, I think it's 5th break point of this game.
Yep.
Have you caught any of the first of this so far while you were getting ready, Shrihari?
Yeah, I mean, I just switched on my stream like a couple of minutes ago, and I saw that Ruud is up to break already. But yeah, I was just I didn't get a chance to catch the first couple of games, but it's nice to see that he has a early break start. But then these days we know that doesn't really mean too much because players are making inroads even towards the end of matches when they're 2 sets in the breakdown. I mean, opponents serving for the match for a straight sets win, and then they end up coming back from such positions. So,
all right. We're into a rally at the minute on break point down. They're trading backhands. Ruud is slicing his backhand. Zverev is hitting his backhand pretty hard. Oh, I didn't think that was going in, but it is. They're still trading backhands. Ruud's going for broke on the backhand though, and he goes long, and Zverev has broken back 2-1. So we're after a slow start from Zverev. I think Ruud's level dropped a little bit in the set, and maybe they're back on even terms onto this change of ends. Getting some commented about this match. Max is saying, if would he reach the semi? Did you think he was reaching the semi-finals? I think I know some people did think that was going to happen, but I wasn't, and I wasn't one of them. I thought he'd get to the quarterfinals and lose to Rune, but that was the beginning of the match before the Rune match with Sarundalu, which I think took a lot out of him. So now I'm not so surprised in retrospect, but
I think there was a trainer out for Zverev. I'm not sure why.
That's that they were showing a replay of last year.
Oh no! Right now there's
Was that okay? I'm seeing like clips of Zverev in a press conference.
Right, yeah,
and,
different
last year.
There was a trainer out, to help Zverev. I don't know, just give his thigh a rub or something like that. I'm not sure if.
Well, that fits into what Matthew was asking about, was whether Ruud or Zverev should not have any physical issues today. Both have a fairly full tank. I mean, they've both been on court for about 13 hours. This tournament, which is about an average of 2 to 3 hours per match. It's about average for a men's match. Both
players have dropped just 2 sets each on the way here. Just a couple of force errors.
Yeah. Then a comment from Matthew about the Zverev backhand, which has just gone long, by the way. So it's love 15.
It's just
Yeah, timing, Matthew, timing. Don't jinx the player. Zverev gets that
good
serve
to see
in.
some new names here in our chat. I don't know where Ghost is.
I mean, Ghost can't be here all the time, but he'll get here when he can get here. Zverev goes long with the forehand. It's love 30, just trying to come in. He's making a lot of errors.
Shaky start, I guess, from both players. But, I expect Ruud to be the clutcher player today. If it comes to such positions, such situations, I expect Ruud to be the braver one, come up with the bigger serves, come up with braver shots like he did against Holger Rune, honestly, in that fourth set.
Yeah. Probably, I mean, it does feel like Rune's the one who's going for things a little bit more. He's trying to make some more haymakers. They're really looping backhand rally going on right now for love 30. They're trading backhands again. Yeah, so far this match, Ruud's been the one to go for his shots a little bit more. Slices that backhand though, showing a bit more variety than Zverev. Again, to continue to slice it. Zverev is making his way in to the court. Ruud hits the passing shot, backhand winner.
Wow.
Zverev kind of tentatively made his way up to the net, and that just left enough room for Ruud to pass him. Love 40, 3 break points to re-establish the advantage in the set.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you would expect Zverev to, you'd favor him against more shaky players. I mean, I personally would have thought that if it was Holger Rune in the semis, I would have given Zverev that edge just because he's sort of made a name for himself with regards to coming back from 2 sets down at some improbable positions. He's also been able to stay steady for prolonged periods of a best of 5 sets match. I don't think Holger is there yet. Physicality is still a pretty big question mark at his at the stage of the career that he's in right now. But obviously no such issues that we've seen at least so far with Casper. So yeah, I think I'm not sure about others. A lot of people have Zverev winning this, but I thought that I still do think that Casper is going to be the one to make a second consecutive RG final here.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah. Well, we'll see because some of my predictions are becoming infamous for completely going off boil.
Yeah, I don't know because I couldn't call this match. Like I haven't made a prediction about this match. I can't. I was struggling to call it beforehand. Unreturnable serve from from Zverev to get to 15-40, but it's now he's trying to serve again, but there was a let, I think, or something. Serves into the middle of the box. Ruud forehand in play. They're kind of keeping in the middle. Ruud again attacks with the forehand up the line, still hitting everything with his forehand. Zverev forehand. Ruud running around to hit it a forehand. Backhand from Zverev. Ruud again running around to hit the forehand, moving Zverev around with it. They're moving each other around. Oh, monster! That is a huge forehand from Ruud. Going for the winner, and he missed it. 30-40. 30-40. Sorry for the hype for nothing, but that's kind of how I felt watching it. I was that's a win. No, it's not.
Still has one more break point though. So
he still does have one more break point. It is true. But again, that's another example of what you were talking about, Shahiri, of Ruud being the one to really go for it and pick an opportunity to hit a winner. The question is whether he can execute. Out from Zverev on the first serve. Matthew making a good point that, Zverev is quite happy to just maintain the rally. Ruud is the one who's looking to finish it. That's probably true. You can interpret that in a couple of different ways. I mean, Ruud's got the weaponry to maybe more easily end it. But I agree that Zverev is also pretty more comfortable with some rally tolerance. And we know that from his game. He just soaks everything up. Backhand from Zverev, winner! Cross court. Saves the third break point. We're back to juice. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. What do you make of that, Shahiri, with Zverev maybe have the better rally tolerance?
Yeah, for sure. I guess Ruud does have it's just the problem with him is the backhand is quite shaky. It's just, you just don't know how it's going to hold up point to point. Zverev's forehand is definitely improved. It's not the glaring weakness that it was years ago. And he's pretty happy to just keep trading and sort of keep people like use the word push. That's something he tends to do quite. Oh, he missed the backhand as we speak. So fourth break point for Ruud
Puts it in the net.
in this game. Yeah, but yeah, he just likes doing that, especially in pressure points. You'd never see him going for the kill, like for example, Casper Ruud going for the huge forehand. Sometimes you really got to step up and sort of. I mean, as what's quoted on the stadium quote Philippe Chatrier, the victory belongs to the most tenacious. Certainly the case with a lot of matchups, especially involving Zverev, kind of explains why he doesn't have the best of records against the best players for this reason, because almost all of his rivals are the ones who have been braver in clutch situations than he's been, and a lot of his wins against him have come when it's been pretty easy for him or smooth sailing for him, and when his opponents have not really been at their best. So yeah, that's another reason why I guess Zverev likes to. He does the one thing where he's improved a lot in one aspect. He's improved a lot in is he doesn't fade away in certain matches.
He's just been broken again. He's put a backhand long track coming into the net.
I just saw that backhand going long again. So he steps up, clubs a backhand cross court to save 3 break points in a row, and then misses 2 backhands in a row again. So the one thing that's not improved is his pressure play. He's just not been that player at all. Even if you look at his matching as Alcaraz last year, when he barely wobbled out of trouble in that 4th set, except for that, I guess, return winner on match point. But then, yeah,
big forehand from Ruud, and that was a winner. Zverev couldn't do anything with it at all.
Yep.
15
and
love.
Some of these forehands and some of these shots, I mean, we saw that with Alcaraz as well earlier. The ball just dies. Once you get to it, you're just getting a frame to it, and there's nothing else that happens with it after. I guess has to do with what kind of balls they have and how early they fluff up as well. Maybe give it a game or 2, and then just not in the best shape.
That's
I guess 2 games away from, or I should say 3 games away from new balls. Another huge forehand winner from Ruud.
Yeah,
he's looking like
forehand there.
Yeah, and if you look at that game as well, I mean, Zverev broke back. You would expect him to sort of lock in and do better or play better. But he again just gave the break right back to him. If you remember that match against Medvedev at Indian Wells, he got that break finally at 5-4, and he gives Medvedev the break immediately after, even after having a game point at 5-all. So yeah, he just doesn't do much to. I mean, sometimes the players don't even have to do much to earn, another bite at the cherry, if you will, against this guy.
Zverev sent it a forehand winner, 30-15. Yeah, comes in mid-court, inside in, as you've said, winner. So yeah, 3 forehand winners so far this game. I didn't watch the Zverev Medvedev Indian Wells match. I was asleep. Was, I guess, is that Alcaraz win last year Zverev's only top 10 win at a slam?
Yeah, it is, and he has 14 losses for that against top 10 opposition. It's not a good ace down the tee from Ruud, 2 game points for 4-1. Yeah, that was his only top 10 win. Of course, before that, the best match he played against top 10 opposition would be that semis against Djokovic at the US Open 2021. I think he played pretty well there. Again, when the pressure got to him in the 5th set, I think it was Djokovic who was the one dictating play, taking the risks. That's kind of a similar pattern if you look at his matches against the best of players, especially at Grand Slams.
Yeah, that would make sense. I mean, but then again, he gets the wins against the players he should beat, the ones that are lower ranked. That's why he's always going deep in tournaments. Ruud, by the way, not showing very much in putting a shot in the net, but that's an unreturnable serve to close out the game for 4-1. And
the break.
He's first non-break we've seen for a few games, and change of ends at 4-1 first set.
So it's Zverev so far who's yet to hold serve.
Yes. Zverev has broken Ruud. That's where he got that one game from. But yeah, at the minute, Zverev definitely pretty shaky. he seems to be he's doing his diabetes tests at the minute. So maybe he's not quite feeling right. So I've obviously known for being kind of diabetic. As there seems to be a very side-by-side comparison of Alcaraz versus Djokovic and Federer versus Nalbandian at Roland Garros in 2006, with that shot that Alcaraz played, that one that could have been a tweet, ended up being a sort of a twisting round forehand that was a winner, passing Djokovic. Federer hit almost a very, very similar shot in very similar circumstances in 2006, according to the side-by-side comparison that's just been shown on my screen, which is quite cool. Alcaraz isn't often compared to Federer. He's usually compared to Djokovic and Nadal. But there's elements of the Federer game in there.
Yeah, for sure. Especially when he disguises that forehand slice, and he tries to get winners. I remember there was one point where he did that against Novak. It was in the second set. Just didn't work out. Probably a 5-all game. I think that game was also pretty big, all things considered, I guess. Because it was just about those two sets taking their toll on Alcaraz, whereas Novak also seemed like he was a bit drained in his opening service game. It's kind of crazy, because that's when we thought, okay, Alcaraz is probably gonna step in and take charge of the match now, having grabbed that second set, and he was 1-love up in the third set. Novak obviously took that bathroom break, and he was back. We usually have seen this before, and Novak takes a bathroom break. When he returns, he's a different player altogether. But Carlos is still playing pretty well, and then it was just that one moment where it completely changed, and it's just so unfortunate. We were just robbed of, I think, what would have been a 5-hour semi-final. Either one could have won, really.
For sure, it would have been a while, but that's not something that, it could trouble me a little bit by Alcaraz. Zverev, by the way, is just held to love with some really assertive play, big winners, pushing Ruud back, forcing errors. That was a backhand winner to close it out up the line, and Ruud couldn't get to it. So Zverev is now held for the first time in the match, and it's 4-2. But yeah, I agree. It's it's one of those things that we were probably robbed of it, but by something that's kind of outside of almost all but one person's control. By the way, feel free to chat. Feel free to come in and say what you thought about the previous semi-final, if you want to, or what's going on right now as Zverev goes long on a backhand and Ruud has the first point in this game, 15-love. It's definitely a feel like at the minute Ruud's the one with the momentum, but let's see, because both of these men can be seen to be quite unclutch at points, and maybe that's what's making the semi-final very difficult to call, because it's going to be who's going to have the least nerves to hold it out. Goes forehand up the line from Ruud to the forehand of Zverev, but it's looping way out. It was a big forehand to try and make contact with. I'd call that a forced error, because Zverev had to move to it. Zverev is very frustrated though, and he's kind of exchanging words with his father in the box. And it's 30-love to Casper Ruud, who is winning, who has won 17 out of 27 rallies that have been less than 5 shots. So yeah, he's definitely the one who's again trying to shorten the points, take the first strike and finish it. And like Zverev, who's trying to lengthen the rallies, as it's another lengthy rally at the minute. Backhand to the Zverev forehand is moving Ruud around. Ruud's getting his forehand into play though. Zverev is still moving Ruud around with his forehand. Ruud decides to slice. Zverev goes up the line with a backhand winner, 30-15. That's again, that was a very Zverev rally, just soaking everything up, taking control, moving Ruud around, and then waiting for an opportunity to strike. Whereas I think Ruud prefers to look for the first strike, especially on clay. But I don't know, because like when we talk about Ruud and his forehand and his quite aggressive weapon, what is it about him that makes him so good on clay? Because in theory, that would make him a very decent grass or fast hardcourt player, and he did quite well at the US Open.
Yep.
Is it the backhand? Is it the fact that the clay just neutralizes the weakness on the backhand, kind of like it does with Tsitsipas?
I think he enjoys having more time, to be honest. He does take the ball early, but he also, I guess, it's sort of like team, I guess. Team wasn't too fond. I mean, I don't want to say wasn't. He's still around. He's not too fond of the grass. It's just because, yeah, you just don't have that much time. You don't have that same comfort zone that you have on, say, a slower surface like clay or hard courts as well. Ruud, of course, has performed excellently on the faster hard courts, making the final of the US Open, final in Turin, probably the fastest hard court on tour, the ATP finals. So, yeah, I just, it is interesting. I'm not sure why exactly. Maybe much like Medvedev on clay, it also could be mental. It's not as highlighted just because the grass season is that short. We don't see quote
And
unquote
also,
iconic.
Medvedev has achieved more than Ruud, or
I guess, yeah, that's true. But you also don't see those tantrums from Ruud if when he is on grass like you do with Medvedev. So Medvedev is just more pronounced, and also the clay season is much longer. You have much more significant events than on grass. Shouldn't be that way, but shouldn't be that way. As I do think we need to have a Masters event at the very least on grass leading up to Wimbledon. That being said, Casper Ruud just held serve and he's 5-2 up. Zverev will serve to stay in the first set.
Unreturnable serve as well. So after looking a little bit nervy at points, Ruud holds very well. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how things come out. But it does feel like the momentum is one particular direction, but the second set could well be very much closer because Zverev seems to have stabilized things a little bit. Looking to get himself a bit more into the match. I guess the only other comparable thing would be Tsitsipas on grass. He's someone who, again, I don't know, but he doesn't complain about it as much, and he is someone you would expect to maybe complain about it. But he does have a grass title, and he does have a second week at Wimbledon to his name.
Yeah, I mean, I would have expected Tsitsipas to do better on grass than on clay when I first saw him burst on the scene. And funnily enough, the first time he made it to week 2 of a slam was at Wimbledon in 2018. It was the only time he's also made it that far at Wimbledon. I mean, he has good hands. He's really good at the net. He has a great serve. Of course, it's very rewarding. So I just, we just wonder why exactly it is that he, another reason could be that he's not had. It could be circumstantial as well. He's just not had enough time to sort of transition and prep that well on the surface. When I say circumstantial, it's 2019 and 2021 on the back of heartbreaking defeats at RG. 5 setters, one to Wawrinka, the other one to Djokovic. I don't think he was that invested, especially in 2021. There was that no-show against Tiafoe in the first round where he was bundled out. But yeah,
Tiafoe's a bad player to no-show against because he'll take full advantage.
Exactly. And when he gets going, it is scary, no matter what the surface is, no matter who he's playing. We saw that against, I think, 2021 US Open against Rublev. I think Rublev was 2-1 up. I may be wrong, but I know that was a 5-setter. And then Tiafoe just took the match out of his racket completely. I remember the 5th set was 6-1. And it was not much wrong that Rublev was doing. Not much different either, but then Tiafoe just ran away with it completely. Same with Nadal as well the year after. I guess Nadal was also struggling physically in some way, but he's done that.
Right, they're trading backhands at the minute. Forehand from Ruud, forehand to Zverev, and cross court. Ruud goes up the line of that, and Zverev cannot live with it. That was a beautiful running forehand winner, almost Alcaraz-like from Ruud to get to 15-30 in this game, and suddenly Ruud's already 2 points away from taking a set lead. That was kind of out of nowhere because it felt like Zverev was kind of controlling the tempo of the rally, and then Ruud's just using his forehand to full effect to just change the narrative completely.
That's going to be the key shot for the rest of the match, really, because it's about who is going to take the initiative and go for the kill in these rallies, especially the big ones. Zverev takes his own sweet time, and then when he feels like he can go for it, it's usually from the backhand. But you don't see too many winners in such situations, and that's just I think that's just goes to highlight the overarching issue with him in the big moments against the big best players. Second serve 15-30.
Yeah, forehand into play. They're trading it. Ruud goes for the slice. Zverev has to pick it up. Ruud changes direction on the backhand going up the line. Zverev gets to the forehand. Forehand from Ruud cross court. Moves Zverev out of court. Oh, big forehand winner for Zverev. Just like really sharp angle. Managed to thread the needle. Cross court. And the ball kind of dies off and Ruud cannot pick it up.
That was a really good angle. He was completely outside the court and then he belts that. Yep. Yeah.
And goes to show, like you say, you don't see a lot of winners. Like when the chips down, Zverev can hit winners from both wings.
Yeah, definitely. He's a pretty dangerous player when the scoreboard is not in his favor as well. Much like how Tsitsipas also is or has been. We did see that to some effect in that match against Alcaraz in the quarters.
Yeah. It's interesting. Well, actually, we'll talk through this point. It's 30-all. Zverev goes out wide. Forehand up the line from Zverev. Ruud gets to it. Goes for the passing shot. Zverev lifts up, does a counter drop shot at the net. Cat and mouse. Oh, my word. Ruud gets to it. Lifts it past Zverev. Manages to get it in.
That was a really good get.
I thought that was going to die on him, and he just got to it and lifted it past Zverev. It wasn't even a lob. It was just past him. I don't think Zverev was prepared, fully ready for the possibility that Ruud was going to get it.
Yeah, he wasn't.
Right. Set point for Casper Ruud on the Zverev serve. Zverev bouncing the ball at 30-40. Still his first serve. Goes out wide. Ruud tries to get it back in. Lifts it up, but it's unreturnable. First serve from Zverev. Saves the set point. Deuce. Really kind of going for it on that serve. I wasn't 100% sure it was in or not. And it was just too good. Oh, and Ruud actually tripped over a Lacoste advertising board in front of the line judge, but he's okay.
I don't know why they have those things. I've seen so many players get injured because of them.
Is it? I was going to say that's, I've seen plenty of people tripping over it. I was going to say Daniel Medvedev. That was a camera he ran into rather than one of those boards.
Yeah. It was Kokkinakis once. Sinner the other time. Sinner actually kicked it and then went and picked it back up. I remember which.
Of course, the main reason I remember about sort of not those metal ones, but like something slightly more polystyrene. Oh, nice back behind passing shot winner from Zverev, kind of picking the forehand almost in front of him round.
Yeah. I didn't expect Zverev to win that point from there. So.
Yeah, but the advertising board thing, I think the main thing I remember is David Nalbandian deliberately kicking one and injuring the line judge sat behind it, which was at Queen's in 2012.
And then he was up a set.
In the final.
Yeah, he was up a set, loses serve, does that, and then gets defaulted. Cilic wins it.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Cilic would have won it anyway, like even if he hadn't done that.
Maybe, yeah.
Because he was like, he could have taken it to a third and then who knows what would have happened. But at that point in their careers, you would have maybe made Cilic the favourite.
Yeah.
Anyway, Zverev second serve at advantage at game point to try and extend this set and put the pressure on Casper Ruud, who's already had one set point. Zverev serves, goes out wide. Ruud goes on the attack. Zverev comes in behind the serve, finishes it at the net. Game 5-3, Ruud serving for the set.
Did he want to go another way with that volley? It just looked like he was, yeah.
They're showing a replay of it. No, that looked like he was going with it. Ghosts at the airport. That's why he's
okay.
He's not here. I hope you have safe travels, Ghost, and you're going somewhere nice.
Yep.
Yeah,
because his head was looking the other way. It looked like he didn't intend to hit the volley there, but he did. So anyway, Casper Ruud serving for the first set, having had a set point already.
That was an unreturnable serve from Ruud going out wide. 15-love. Zverev tried to go for it, but I think that would have been a really tricky serve to get a handle. I think only Novak would have been able to do something with it. Maybe Daniel Medvedev.
Maybe, yeah, with his arms, the octopus arm.
Oh, Andy, of course, three great returners. Inside out forehand from Zverev. They're kind of trading. Ruud goes up the line with a backhand. Zverev cross court forehand winner. She just had time with it. Luke gets it in right near the line. Ruud can't even run for it. 15-all. Haven't heard from Matthew or Max for a while, so if you're still here, just say hi. But appreciate you're probably still a bit sleepy from waking up early to watch Alcaraz and Djokovic, because Max is in Las Vegas, so she would have had to wake up at about 6 a.m. to watch it. Oh, ace from Ruud, 30-15. Up the tee. Nice serve.
That serve is money, especially against Rune. Rune just couldn't do it. He was getting jammed up so much on that backhand. He tried to take it early, stepping into the baseline and all of that, but Ruud just kept getting rewarded for that serve.
Too good for Ruud. As he dictates with his forehand, trying to move things around, but has a more neutral forehand there. Going to they're trading forehands right now. Zverev goes up the line. Ruud runs around to hit inside out forehand. Zverev goes back behind Ruud with the backhand. Ruud lifts it up. Zverev has the overhead, but goes it to Ruud. Ruud then puts it in the net. It was a very high. He got a racket on it, but it was very difficult to do anything with. It's 30-all. Zverev putting pressure on Ruud in this critical game. Yeah, that was like Ruud tried to take control. Zverev neutralized it and then took control himself in that rally, really.
Yep.
Right, big points here. 30-all. Ruud still 2 points away from the set. Zverev 2 points away from getting the set back on terms. Ruud goes out wide. And it was in. It was unreturnable. Zverev, oh, no, it wasn't. Never mind, it was out. I don't know. It looked like he was walking. He was walking to get a ball.
Yeah.
Never mind. I need someone to tell me what's going on. Which is bad because I'm watching the match. Forehand Zverev up the line to the backhand of Ruud, to the backhand of Zverev, to the forehand of Ruud who's running around it to go inside out. Backhand Ruud cross court, and it's out. It's looked up and out, and Zverev's putting enough pressure on that backhand to draw an error, and it's 30-40. Zverev has a point to get back on terms in this set.
Having saved the set point already at 2-5.
Ghost, I'm pretty sure other players also wear the black Adidas covered shirt. I wouldn't worry. As Ruud puts his first serve into the net. Not a great start from Ruud, who's trying to put this set away. And I'm a little bit surprised in this position. But anyway, second serve. They're trading at the minute. Inside out forehand from Ruud, who then tries to change direction, but it's way too in the middle of the court. And then Zverev goes up the line with his forehand, backhand to the backhand of Zverev. Ruud has to kind of run for it, scrambles it back. Zverev tries to step in and take it, but he's missed the shot. Tries to do
Bad miss there from Zverev.
Yeah, he had it.
Because
he could have had
control of that point after that backhand down the line, and Ruud was just, yeah.
Anyway,
yeah, there's a disappointed look from Alexander Zverev Senior.
I would imagine that. Yeah.
He did. My bad.
5-3. Zverev, Ruud gets the first serve in play. They're trading forehands at the minute. Then Ruud goes for the drop shot on the forehand. Zverev's going to get to it, lifts it up, goes over the baseline. That was a good enough drop shot that Zverev was struggling to get it back. And it's advantage Ruud, who finally has a set point on his serve. Second set point of this opener.
I do think that that was not a good enough drop shot. Zverev could have done more with it.
I think if it's Alcaraz or Djokovic, for sure they would have done it, but I don't think Zverev quite had the speed for it. Oh, and that could have been a good first serve, but it was wide. He was trying to go up the tee on the ad side from Ruud. So second serve on set point. Goes a bit more out wide, loop, kicks it up. Zverev can't do much with it, and it's very good kick second serve, makes it very tricky. And
first
it is
Casper Ruud.
Yeah, Ruud with the first set, 6-3 after 47 minutes. That was more of a battle.
It was.
Than maybe we thought.
And it's good that there was a battle then, and Ruud overcame that, because at least then that should give him confidence going into the match, because you don't really, sometimes it's not great to win a set comfortably, especially when the other player is flat, because then that sort of gives you a false sense of how of the dynamic of the match, how the match is gonna play out after, because we did have some pretty crucial and important points where Ruud was able to get on top of Zverev, especially in the important moments. I mean, all granted that Zverev did sort of hand him a couple of pretty important points, especially the break point. But nonetheless, Casper Ruud takes the openings, and that could be pretty big for
It's going to give
proceedings
him.
here.
Yeah, I would imagine the second set's going to be a bit more neutral, given how it kind of ended. Zverev, once he stabilized, was more of a threat. He was working things. He's actually hit marginally more winners, only 10-8.
Yeah, and 15 on forced errors to 11.
Yeah, Ruud having the better first serve percentage, which probably helped a lot. But yeah, so I would say right now, I think this is going to be a much more even second set. So yeah, I think that first set's going to give Ruud some confidence, but I think he's more relieved he won it than anything else.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I know it's all like one shirt, but the way it's designed, Ruud's shirt, it looks like it looks like he's wearing like what the English might call a tank top, which is basically like a dad vest over the top of it. And but people, guys, maybe particularly Americans, who like have this additional sort of like sleeveless cardigan over the top of a shirt. And I know in reality it's all one shirt, because it wouldn't make sense to wear something like that on a tennis court. But yeah,
I remember Federer once wore that. Was Hamburg 2013, right, against Florian Mayer? I don't know if you remember that.
I didn't watch that tournament.
Sported a sleeveless vest, if you will, because it was pretty cold. It rained as well. So
I mean, for him,
I could probably pull up a picture if that's there.
Yeah, don't worry about it. But I mean, for Federer, like, he could get away with it because he was a dad at the time. Still is, but
fair enough.
I do remember, like, in his final against Murray in 2012 at Wimbledon, I do remember him getting distracted, I think, during the first set when a child called out on the crowd, and I was like, oh, dad mode engaged. Kid cries, you respond to it.
Right.
Don't think it was his kid. Anyway, Zverev finishes it with a +1 overhead for the opening point of the second set. Very big serve. We were talking about players on grass earlier. And actually, is Zverev someone who's underperformed on grass in his career?
If you look at his serve and his serving ability, sure, but baseline game considered, I would say no, because a lot of things he doesn't like about grass. He doesn't get enough time. He doesn't like getting low. He's not somebody who likes engaging in slice rallies, if you will. There are players like Tsitsipas, even Medvedev. You see him slicing quite often on all of the surfaces. He likes getting low. That's when he's on his backhand, especially. That's like this actual comfort zone. Zverev just. And another thing about Zverev is he likes to extend rallies as long as he can. He likes it when the ball bounces high up. The only reward he's really getting is off his serve. And that, again, it only depends on whether or not he's having a good serving day, which a lot of times we do see double faults a lot. His last match on the surface, which was against Felix, the fourth round that he lost in 2021, I think he committed 20 double faults, if I'm not mistaken. So, it just all depends on that one factor for him. So I don't think I wouldn't expect someone like Zverev to perform really well. Who has underperformed on grass, in my opinion, is Medvedev, especially in 2021. Yes. That would have been at least a run to the semis, because he was not losing to Hurkacz if that match had gotten over that night itself. He has Federer on one leg in the quarters. He's not losing that. Then, of course, he has Berrettini in the semis. That could go either way, because just Berrettini is just that good on grass. But again, the matchup, you would like Medvedev's chances, and we could have seen probably 3 out of 4 Grand Slam finals between Djokovic and Medvedev that season.
Yeah.
So
By the way,
I
very good service game from Zverev to hold to love.
holds to love, and Ruud is just teeing up to serve.
But I do want to say I agree with you on Medvedev on grass. I mean, he has a grass tour. Has he won a grass court title now? I'm pretty sure he has.
Yeah, he won Mallorca in 2021.
That's right. Yeah,
The same title Tsitsipas won last year.
Yeah, so he's definitely underachieved because like whenever Medvedev's lost at Wimbledon in the last few years, like 2019, 2021, 2022, it's been in 5 sets. It's taken a lot to take him down on grass.
It was all of his losses, you're right, have been in 5 sets. And I think the one against Goffin, he was up a break in the 5th in 2019 and he lost.
Who would you have played if he got through that?
In 2019?
Yeah. That was a 3rd round or 4th round?
3rd round, yeah. He lost to Goffin, and then Goffin lost to Djokovic in the quarters.
Okay, so yes, he could have got to the quarters and played Djokovic.
Right. 2017 was when he got his first main draw win at a slam. He beat Wawrinka in the 1st round, lost to Bemelmans in the 2nd round, and that's when he sort of I remember this incident where he was throwing coins at the umpire.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen
that was that one, was it? Oh
yeah, it was.
Zverev coming in and putting a forehand volley away to go love 15 on this Ruud service game. I feel like he's coming for Ruud right now.
Yeah.
I hope you're not ill.
I do have a bit of a coughing issue for the last week or so, but it's not a huge deal. I'm just looking at Ghost's comment. What time does Nick go to bed during the slams? 10ish.
There you go, Ghost. You got him. You got him.
Yeah. Well, congratulations. You gotta chuckle out of me more than that. I'm a tough nut. Well, interesting that you would think that, but anyway.
Well, I thought that was a good one. It was a good one.
It was,
and also true a lot of the time, unless it's the US Open. There's usually something good happening at 10 o'clock at the US Open.
Yeah.
My time, anyway.
Yeah. Well, for me, since I'm back in the UAE, US Open is going to be a nightmare.
What's the best slam for you to follow? Where you are?
At the moment, all the first 3 are great. Especially, I would say Australian Open because the evening session begins at noon here. So I guess that's the best, unless it's a working day, then it sucks that I have to miss that session. And especially, I remember when I was in school, I would wake up to a lot of matches getting over as well. So that was not that nice. It was a nightmare in the US though, following the US Open. If Vanch is following this stream, he can attest for that. Vanch, Owen, or anyone really in North America could attest for that. But yeah, RG and Wimbledon, I think, sort of are at the sweet spot, especially RG, where France is just a couple of hours behind. Wimbledon,
another nice rally with Zverev hitting a forehand winner, take a 30-all.
Interesting sort of change in tide because Zverev is settled in to this match. He's more dialed in now. You would expect him to maybe take the set at least, unless there are some moments where he doesn't get that breakthrough and then he lets that linger in his mind. But yeah, I don't think Casper is gonna go away either. So
no, I don't.
Yeah,
he's just put a first step into the net. Then double faults. Casper Ruud is double faulted. Break point Zverev.
Oh
no! Wait, no, it wasn't. It was a second serve ace.
It was.
I didn't.
Yeah, I was confused. I'm seeing the score here is 40-30, and then I'm seeing.
I'm not looking at the score. I'm looking at the screen, and so I'm like, wait, that's clearly a miss because he's walking, and it was a second serve. Like I wasn't expecting a second serve ace.
Me neither. And Zverev was just shrugging because I guess he was just disappointed that he Didn't do much with it, but I guess okay. Another big serve.
Yeah, it's out. Zverev puts a forehand inside out, long, just wide, and
Casper Ruud holds.
yeah. I'm not putting the latest joke on the screen, but
Oh my god.
yeah, I'm not doing that one.
No, yeah, just let it stay there.
But it has got, just know it has some appreciation. Anyway, 1-1. Zverev. Here we go. They're looping. Oh, good grief! There's a lot of loopy forehands going on right now. Backhand Zverev to the forehand of Ruud, going inside out, back towards Zverev, who's changes direction. Ruud loops his forehand up. Backhand Zverev to the backhand of Ruud. Cross court. Backhand Zverev to the backhand of Ruud. He's trying to go back behind. They're trading backhands at the minute. Somehow still getting in. Ruud kind of brings Zverev in, who just finishes it with a backhand. Finishes it with a backhand. 15 love. Yeah, that was interesting. Lots of attempts to go back behind. Ruud was just trading with the backhand, and then that slice was just too short, and Zverev could just put it away. I do feel like Zverev is the one with the momentum right now to try and take the second set.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's all about momentum. Even if you close out the first set somehow, it's always about, you've had opportunities before that, but saving those set points and then sort of trying to get back into the set, whether or not you could still lose it, but that still gives you confidence and tells you that, okay, it's still in the match. I've seen that a lot of times, especially RG 2021, the semis between Novak and Rafa, where Rafa's 5 love up, love 15, and then Novak holds 5-1. Nadal doesn't win the set until Zverev has pushed that slice long.
That was a very
nice
very short slice return from Ruud that also seemed to almost seemed to catch Zverev out.
Yeah, that was a good chip return. I'm glad there are players who are sort of implementing that. I've not seen too many players outside of Federer.
I haven't seen too many people. Yeah, I was going to say Federer, the last one to really execute it properly. What were you saying, Shrihari? Or do you want to talk? Well, actually, Zverev's going out wide with the first serve. It's unreturnable, so it's 30-15. What were you saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was referring to the Djokovic-Nadal semifinal from a couple of years ago, where obviously Nadal was 5-1 up and obviously 5 love up, and Novak serving love 15. He holds. It was 5-1. But Nadal didn't win the set until his, I think, 6th or 7th set point at 5-3. And then he closes that set out, but then Novak is already this momentum's already shifted towards Novak, and that's when he started to dictate play.
That's a good comparison.
Yeah, from I think the very beginning of the second set and even the third set, where it was him who was sort of bossing Nadal in most of those rallies, and if anything, he was just getting slipped up because of the nerves and the occasion. Yeah, again, that was a good volley put away.
Yeah, it's Zverev taking again advantage of a slightly shorter ball from Ruud. It wasn't that short, but it was enough for Zverev to come in and finish with the volley. Just again, he's not shy of coming forward right now, Zverev, which rushes, trying to find a way of rushing Ruud a little bit.
Yep.
So 40-30. It's Zverev is won 4 out of 5 net points. Ruud is 1 from 1. As backhand from Zverev to the backhand of Ruud, they're trading backhands again. They're still going for the backhand. Zverev changes direction, goes up the line. Ruud scoops it up, bounces mid court. Zverev decides to do an overhead from the baseline, still hits a winner. Game Zverev 2-1. Change of ends. He could have done whatever he wanted with that, but he decided to go for the overhead. It still worked.
Yeah. Let's go for the safest shot, right?
Yeah. Safe flight to go, Steve. Don't know whether he'll hear us say that. I think he's long gone, but yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I know there's a few of out there still with us. Thanks for joining us. Hopefully, we're keeping you informed during this semi-final. Let's say you prefer our commentary to what you've got in that you're watching on, or whether you can't get any legal access and you want to stay on the right side of the law, thank you for joining us. And hopefully we're justifying what is I would say, an intriguing match. It's definitely an interesting battle, even if it's not necessarily like really hotting up yet. There's a few different facts in here. It's definitely a battle of can Ruud. It's basically Ruud trying to out-hit and Zverev just trying to absorb and outlast. And we're on to service game for Casper Ruud, who goes out wide on the and then goes for the +1 forehand, backhand from Zverev up the middle, forehand Ruud to the forehand of Zverev, goes cross court. Ruud moves into position. There's Chill training forehands at the minute. Ruud's running around to his forehand, goes back behind Zverev, who goes for a cross court forehand. Ruud again. Oh, he's put it into the net. Tries to go over the top half of the net, trying to hit into the space, and it hits the high part of the net. It's love 15. That's the kind of forehands that Ruud was making, like, not that long ago, as a sign of how big this battle is. This match, they've both won 40 points each. That is how close things are right now. Gets the first serve in play from Ruud. Goes up the tee, then hits an inside-out forehand to the Zverev backhand. Then they're training backhands again. Zverev changes direction on the backhand. Ruud goes cross-court. Zverev, oh my word, I don't know what you're seeing there. Backhand. Oh yeah, backhand's long from Ruud. Oh, you were coughing. I thought you were reacting. But it's love 30. It's love.
Yeah, I'm also a couple of seconds behind, so it's just was a bit puzzled by it. Yeah.
So you're figuring it out.
Love 30. Feels like another big game, and Zverev sort of comfortably holding his service games while it's a battle for Ruud since 5-3. A lot of these close games.
Probably a bit low. Oh my word! He was trying to change direction with the forehand off the Zverev return, and the redirect goes into the tram line, misses the sideline, and it's love 40.
Break points.
More break points for Zverev. They've both had 6 break points each. Ruud has broken twice. Zverev has broken once. Shahiri has decided to hide his face with his microphone. We're not on the radio.
Right. I mean, speaking of radio, I should say that the radio commentators are so underappreciated, because I was sort of tuning in to their coverage of Swiatek and Haddad Maya, and I think it is a pretty taxing, draining job to do, and yet they're able to do it with so much enthusiasm.
Is that Radio Roland Garros?
That's a backhand of a second serve. Still has a couple of break points.
Was that Radio Roland Garros you were listening to?
Yeah, on the app.
Yeah, they're very good. They're very good. I enjoy their coverage. They kind of keep me updated on Roland Garros whilst I'm at work. Unreturnable serve from Ruud, 30-40. Another break point saved. Full. And I think one of the things about radio commentary is I was thinking about it. It's very similar to what we're doing here, which is you can have a chat most of it, but then when you're describing a point, that can be going. It's very different to TV commentary where, like, you don't have to talk all of the time. Maybe we had some decent gigs as radio commentators if things go south. Ruud gets the serve into play. Backhand from Zverev to the backhand slice from Ruud to the backhand of Zverev. They're trading backhands across court. Ruud tries to change direction. Then Zverev pushes Ruud across the court, moving around. It's a short ball. Zverev, oh my word! He just sort of tried to do a drop shot, and the ball just didn't even.
What was that?
What was that shot selection?
No, that was terrible. Yeah, goes back to my original point, I guess, which I will still maintain unless Zverev somehow proves me wrong here, because this would be, if he does win, his biggest win by a ranking at a slam. So it still applies, I guess. But
Matthew's got an interesting point here. Is we're at deuce in this set, so Ruud's I know what you mean. Like, he's not as sharp. He's the one feeling the pressure right now. Trading backhands again Inside out forehand from Ruud, which is brutal, but Zverev somehow loops it back in. Ruud changes direction again. Big forehand. That's Zverev has to run almost across the court to even have hope of getting to it.
That
And he just
forehand was
speed.
really good because the overhead following the volley was just not good at all. Very reminiscent of the one Djokovic hit. If you remember 11-all break point against Federer, there was that awful overhead that he hit and he ended up winning the point still. But yeah, Ruud sort of got the point, rally back on even terms, and then again went for the kill inside and winner of the forehand. And yeah, I don't know if Ruud looks jaded, but he's still there. All of the intent is there. His body language is positive. He's making good shot selections. And here's the thing: when Ruud loses, it's usually when he's outmatched or overpowered by just a better player. You just don't see him completely going away from matches.
And he definitely go away there because, again, that cross-court forehand was too good, and Zverev loops his attempted response over the
Casper
baseline.
Ruud holds after saving 3 break points. Interesting. Now we get back to the point that I was making about Zverev. Does this get into his head, the 3 missed opportunities? How long does he think about them for? Or does he just put them behind immediately and then gets another quick hold of serve and puts pressure right back on Ruud? This is that moment. We'll wait and see what happens. But,
yeah. So we'll have to see. So here's what we're going to get. Zverev serves out wide, misses. So second serve for Alexander Zverev. Just catches a breath, bounces the ball, brings himself forward again for his improved second serve, I would say. Ruud attacks it, though, with the forehand. They're trading forehands now. Ruud goes cross-court with the forehand. Zverev goes cross-court with his, trying to counter it. They're just pulling each other all over the court now. Zverev, again, just goes to the backhand of Ruud. Backhand up the line from Zverev for a very short ball from Ruud, who still gets it back in. Now they're trading, but Ruud goes back up the line. Forehand into the net from Zverev, love 15. That was Zverev breaking down there. Ruud keeping himself in the point, making some interesting decisions, and Zverev just not capitalizing. Maybe you're right. Maybe that's in his head.
Let's see. It's love 15. Definitely a very loose shot. Doesn't look like as much intent. Obviously, there's a back and forth between him and his father going on. Mm-hmm. Again, something we've spoken about quite a bit with Tsitsipas and his parents. We do see Zverev and his dad quite a bit, chomping off one another. And of course, yeah, you were saying?
I was going to say, is Zverev's dad more involved now, would you say?
Now, yeah, because I did read that Zverev was with Sergei Bruguera for a while, and then they parted ways. Zverev put out a statement saying that they don't have the same opinion with regards to where his tennis needs to be right now or where his tennis is headed. And also that Bruguera was sort of a short-term installment in his team until, that was a bad drop ball.
That was a really, that was something to be a counter, drop volley.
That looks like a man who is just not comfortable or confident at the net. He's at the net with the easier putaways and whatnot, but that was not a shot he was ever going to pull off. That being said, he also mentioned that his dad is, has gotten better health-wise, and he will, be taking the reins again. Has that helped? Clearly, he's made the semis here, but I don't know if we have seen a lot of episodes between him and his dad quite a bit.
And it's again maybe Zverev and Tsitsipas might have similar problems in that they're relying on their fathers. They're a lot more comfortable with their fathers, but they're not taking. It means that there's a ceiling to their games. They just can't break. There's a point that they can't get across because they'd rather stay where they're comfortable. Maybe that's a theory. Zverev is serving at love 30, loops the backhand into place. Ruud goes inside out the forehand to the Zverev backhand, tries to change direction, but puts the forehand long. Again, he was trying to be aggressive there, but misses the forehand, 15-30. So Zverev
that's not a miss Ruud would really mind, because one of the first things you're told, as players, is that you try to execute a certain tactic. You try to step up and take initiative, even if you commit errors. If you're doing the right thing, it's fine. Just keep at it. You also sort of similar to how you learn certain skills on the job. You also like learn to deploy certain different tactics during the course of a match. So that's not an error Ruud would mind as much, but that again depends on whether or not Zverev holds here, and if there's a huge. Okay, that was not a good miss from Ruud. Forehand goes long, 30 all.
Yeah, I was thinking the same. Just being moved out by the Zverev forehand, then trying to loop it up and be as aggressive as possible still, and it just wasn't there. So 30 all. Zverev now has the chance to kind of rescue this game. He's definitely been gifted a way back in. Goes for the serve up the tee. Ruud loops up the return. Zverev comes in to attack on the backhand on the volley. Zverev now has the overhead to put away, but hits it at Ruud, who gets it back again. Zverev has now moved back to the baseline. They're trading backhands. Now Ruud runs around for the forehand, inside out, wide, way wide and long probably. 40-30. Ruud worked his way back into the point and then missed the haymaker.
Yeah. There again, I guess it's nerves getting to Ruud because he senses that this is a big opportunity. Is it? I mean, he knows that it's hard to sort of recover from such positions. Although Zverev was in a similar position 2 years ago against Tsitsipas, 2 sets down, but ended up losing in 5. But yeah, I guess Ruud is a steady enough player that I just don't expect him to lose from a position like 2 sets to love up.
Mm-hmm.
Ace down the tee from Zverev, and he holds from love 30 down.
Yeah. The thing is, though, Ruud is not 2 sets to love up. He's only 1 set to love up, and it's still
at the moment. Yeah, of course. But yeah,
still
at the moment.
Serve.
But I was referring to, obviously, to get there, he needs to make that breakthrough, and this was the chance, right? So all of those, you tend to think ahead during such situations, or this, I have a chance here to break, and I'll be a set and a break up and whatnot. I was just
doing a linking narration to bring everything back to where we are now, rather than anything else.
Right.
Yeah. So change of ends right now. It's. I mean, if we're talking about, we don't expect Ruud to lose from a 2 sets to love up position, but it's pretty even right now.
Yeah, it is. In this set so far, it is. I think both players are sort of shaky. Zverev's first 2 holes were pretty comprehensive. Ruud's 2 holes were far from straightforward. Well, yeah, we'll have to see. I think, we're almost halfway through. It's only a matter of time before, I guess, either someone gets tight or one player steps up.
And it could be either of them at this rate, because I a few minutes ago would have said Ruud, but after that game I would have said Zverev looks like he could get tight. And also Ruud's kind of rediscovered his fiery forehand. He bludgeons Zverev with a forehand and forces an error. To answer your question, John, we don't know where Ghostie's flying to. He didn't say, so there's nothing you missed. So you're all good there. Ruud, 15 love up again, just using the forehand well. Misses the first serve though. He's gonna be about to. So he's going second serve, goes kind of a body, backhand and play from Zverev. Ruud's running around for his forehand, backhand Zverev, the forehand of Ruud, backhand Zverev, forehand Ruud. They're kind of trading up the middle at the minute. Zverev tries to go for the backhand. They're trading backhands now. Cross court. That just went over the net. Still trading backhands. Zverev gets a forehand, but the backhand from Ruud was long, and it's 15 all. So it's Ruud's the one who's breaking down on that backhand side, which I do see what you mean. Like, that backhand can break down, and it's also not much of a weapon. I mean, where would you rate? Would you say that Ruud's kind of like the clay court Berrettini? Or is that harsh?
Yeah, well, Berrettini is a pretty good comparison. Obviously, both Grand Slam finalists. Backhand's not their best shot, but I still think Ruud's backhand is more potent. At least, I mean, there are a lot of winners that he has hit. Okay, that's a good volley winner
Yeah.
from Ruud. Forehand, approach shot, and then comes to the net and finishes off. Zverev just, he just didn't try. I guess he was rushed. Just couldn't do much there. 30-15 Ruud. But yeah, Berrettini is a good comparison. And until now, I mean, Berrettini yet to score a top 10 win at a Grand Slam. Ruud got his just the match before. And yeah, I guess both players have sort of, if you look at their paths at slams, it's not been the toughest. You only beat who's in front of you. I get that. But that, and also, yeah, it's, we talk about the backhand. But then Berrettini, I just think, it's at a point where it doesn't have a backhand. How often does he even play that backhand? Or remember that backhand he had on match point? Nice one. Toothpick legs. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Berrettini is pretty injury prone. That being said, I do hope he's back healthy for the grass season. It would be great to have him. Makes it more interesting for sure, along with the usual suspects in the mix. But you kind of know, okay, that was a bad drop shot from Casper Ruud. He need not have really gone for that. But anyway, 40-30. That being said, yeah, Berrettini is a pretty good comparison. Although I do think Berrettini does have I think a couple of titles at a 500 level. With Ruud, it feels like it's just a matter of time before he gets either a big title or 500. But yeah, was that?
Yeah.
Oh, that backhand was in.
That was in. It was. I was thinking exactly the same thing. Was that backhand in? But it was on the line. Backhand winner cross court from Casper Ruud to pick up the game. It's 3 games all. Yeah, definitely agree. I think the grass court season is more interesting with Berrettini well and in the mix. I think, look, the grass court season this year is going to be, is Djokovic going to finally have a challenger? Does Carlos Alcaraz have enough what it takes to challenge him on grass?
That's forgetting about Yannick
right now, but
who made the quarterfinal last year, beating Alcaraz, having a 2-sets-to-love lead against Djokovic.
Sid is someone I've definitely got as someone to keep an eye on this
Zverev
season.
Goes wide with that forehand, by the way, love 15. Again, this is a very crucial moment, especially for Ruud. I think if he wants to get a break, this will be the best chance because he's not serving with that pressure for too long. It's just a couple of games, which is why I think sometimes getting the early break may not be the best thing because we've seen a pattern where some of these players do get back eventually. The later you get it in a set and then you're able to close it out and just run with the momentum while you can, because there is enough room when you get the early break for a player to start playing better and be more dialed in. So I guess this would be the best chance for Ruud.
They're trading forehands at the minute. Just switch, but then as they switch to the backhand, cross-court backhand is pushed long by Zverev, and it's love 30 again on his serve.
Yeah.
But let's see if Ruud can make more of an opportunity of it than he did last time he got this.
Yeah, going back to my point again about opportunities, do they linger in Zverev's mind? How does he move on? I don't think when opportunities right. I don't think the players who tend to, at least from what I've seen, sort of linger too much on missed opportunities are the ones who don't have too much belief in themselves that they'll get those opportunities again. And it's not an outlandish claim to make about Zverev. He's not the most.
Backhand is long again from Zverev, and also carbon copy of the previous point. Love 40.
Love 40. 3-all.
This is big. This is big for the set and potentially the direction of the match, because as we were saying earlier, if Ruud goes up a break, maybe holds on, takes the set, That's going to be a difficult lead for Zverev to overcome. We will see. He saved 3 break points before. Here's the first one of this game for Alexander Zverev to try and save. Here we go. First serve up the tee. It's in play. Ruud gets his return in though. They're going trading cross-court forehands. Zverev tries to go big on his. Ruud manages to chop his back into play. Zverev's coming in. Ruud passing shot. Winner on the forehand.
Wow.
Up the line. And he's broken him.
Unreal.
What a winner from Casper Ruud. And he was there. Like Zverev was there to be passed, and Ruud accelerated it. And it was glorious to see. Ruud is a set the break up in the semi-final.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm clearly getting a little too overexcited for sure.
Well, wasn't Zverev love 40 at in that 1-2 game?
He was, yes.
Yeah, he was. And then 2-all, he recovers from love 30.
Mm-hmm.
Ruud has a decently straightforward hold in the 6th game. And then here we go. This is the game where Zverev absolutely capitulated. Yeah. And again, he's just, chomping off at his box, and he's just bellowing at his father. It's not helping, I guess.
When was the last time Zverev and Tsitsipas played?
That was Rome last year, where Tsitsipas beat him in the semis. Yeah. So basically, they played 4 consecutive clay court semifinals at big events, from RG21 to Rome 22. Yeah. RG21, Tsitsipas beat him. Monte Carlo 22, Tsitsipas beat him. Zverev finally got the better of Tsitsipas on clay in Madrid, which you kind of do expect, Zverev being a multiple champion and then at the finalist the other time in Madrid. And Tsitsipas got the better of him in Rome, which kind of was surprising to me because Zverev has also had good results in Rome.
Yeah, for sure. I was just thinking about this idea of like the two just like playing each other and both shouting at their parents. I would not be surprised if their dads got into an altercation with each other.
That did happen.
Really?
Not with both, but that did happen with Zverev. I think the ATP Cup 2020, he was playing Tsitsipas, and he just somebody picked up some really bad language from Zverev in Russian, said to his father.
I think I remember that. Yeah,
his father was in tears. Okay, that was a pretty good point. Good rally, and Zverev just putting away that backhand volley. Love 15. But yeah, Zverev did say some things in Russian to his father, and his father was near tears. I remember that incident. Was followed by Tsitsipas obviously swiping the racket and accidentally hitting his father in that very same tone.
Yeah, but like I feel like there's a very similar dynamic, and that clash could get messy if it happens again, which you would expect it to happen again. They'd probably cross paths again at some point. There's too many tournaments that they're both good at that it wouldn't happen. Ruud gets a second serve, or was that a first serve? No, it was a first serve again. He's gone long.
Yeah, it was the first serve.
He's trying to consolidate his break. So there's a little bit of pressure on this service game. Try and keep momentum. Gets the second serve in play. Backhand from Zverev. The backhand of Ruud. Trading backhands at the minute. Ruud is not running around. He's hitting a backhand. Now he's got a forehand. The forehand of Zverev. Goes up the line again. Backhand from Zverev to the Ruud backhand. They're trading backhands again. But Zverev drags his backhand wide. And it's 15-all. It's the Zverev backhand that's just breaking down a little bit right now. He's just dragging it a little bit wide.
Yeah, it makes no sense. But yeah, again, he's just going at it with his father. They're just going back and forth.
His dad doesn't need to be saying anything right now. He's just taking it right now, but we'll see. Zverev obviously rattles and in a bad mood. First serve let from Ruud. So the let always just has a little bit of tension, especially when you're trying to commentate, and it sort of just kills the momentum a little bit. But anyway, first serve in play from Ruud, then goes cross court with the forehand to the Zverev forehand. Goes big cross court forehand. Zverev tries to retire his own. Ruud goes up the line. Zverev almost gets to it. Oh, he's dropped it in. Ruud's got the overhead though to finish it. He had so much time. 30-15, well dictated with the forehand by Ruud.
Yeah, and he's pretty dialed in and focused on these big points, really, especially in the longer rallies where he's stepping up. And when it's on his racket to finish off, there were some terrible misses from Zverev when he had those breakpoint opportunities. When was it when he attempted that drop shot at the net instead of just putting it away?
I can't remember, but I do know it was like earlier this set as they're into a rally now. They're going backhand to backhand. Zverev goes for the backhand again, still trading backhands. No one's changing direction at the minute. They're just waiting for the other to break down on the backhand right now. It's kind of middling court. Zverev now changes directions. Ruud scrambles a forehand into play. Zverev attacks with his forehand. Ruud still scrambling it back into play, but it's giving Zverev an opportunity to put away a forehand from mid-court. 30-all. Very much putting himself back in this game. That was neither of them were really willing to go for it. And Zverev was the one who eventually changed direction, gave him a slight foothold, which he eventually just got more and more of a grip on as it progressed. So pressure time for Casper Ruud at 1 hour and 28 on the clock, coming up to 22:09 Paris time. It's getting colder, it's getting slower as Ruud serves. Return in play, goes for the forehand. Zverev forehand, the Ruud running around for an inside-out forehand. Backhand from Zverev. So the backhand of Ruud goes up the line. Zverev has to run to get it on the forehand. He drags the forehand wide, though. It was a bit of a miss-hit there from Zverev. 40-30 to Ruud. Would you say that was a forehand miss-hit? I feel like he had a strike on it, and then something seemed to go wrong.
Yeah, it was a miss-hit. It was off the frame. And I don't think he was in the proper position to really strike that. He was on the move, and just frame that forehand. Ruud, I mean, pretty gutsy for him to go down the line with a backhand like his, I should say.
I was thinking that, as he gets an unreturnable serve, tries to serve volley behind it. Yeah, 5-3, 1 game away from a 2-set lead. Casper Ruud.
And then we can go back to a lot of the points that I made earlier about Zverev. Because a lot of things are still there, not changed from what we've seen before from Zverev. Such circumstances, big match against a big opposition, someone like Casper Ruud, number 4 in the world. If Casper Ruud does win, then he reclaims his number 4 ranking.
He does,
which would we have imagined at say the end of Madrid? No, not really.
Nope.
A lot of us saw him going out. We thought, okay, he's defending 1,200 points. It's definitely, let's sort of scrape that off his tally for if we want to predict. You look at some of the projected rankings for the end of the season, but he has defended all of his points in the last 2, I should say not yet here. He's defended his Rome semifinal points. Of course, couldn't defend his title in Geneva, lost to Nicolas Jarry, who he did beat here in the 4th round. And yeah, he's in the semis here, pretty good position. I would say not comfortable, pretty good position.
Yeah, it's not won the set yet. Zverev, very good opening point from him. They entering into another rally. Zverev again coming into the net, finishing with a mid-court forehand, 30-love. He's definitely being a bit more aggressive, trying to put the pressure on Ruud in the next service game, like he did in the first set.
Yeah. Do you at any point find Zverev fun to watch? That's a very hot question I want to ask.
I haven't watched that many matches of Alexander Zverev. And I've seen the feedback from a lot of people, including Owen and a couple of others, that Zverev is not fun to watch because all he does is kill everything fun that the other player can produce. I don't see that, but I do. That doesn't mean it's not what's going on, but it's not what I've observed. I think if I watched it, maybe he's definitely absorbable as seeing that in this match. My perspective on Zverev is he's not my first choice of player to enjoy to watch. I enjoy watching people who are a bit more dynamic, who maybe produce something more flashier tennis, have that sense of how on earth did they get that. I find a lot of Zverev's tennis is quite safe to a certain extent. Like he doesn't really go for lines that much. So to be honest, yeah, I find well, on the men's side, always Federer the most interesting to watch. Now I think I'm edging towards Tiafoe being my favorite player on tour after Murray, because I'm just way too invested in Murray's career at this point to not to kind of but even then, like Murray's an interesting case for that one. So yeah, no, I find it fun to watch. He's not my style of player that I prefer watching anyway, but I don't hate watching him. He's just there. I think I'm probably of the two players I'm watching right now, I'm enjoying seeing when Ruud gets that forehand really firing, and that excites me. But there's nothing about Zverev's game that makes you go, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that's true. That's a pretty apt way to put it. I say when he played against Alcaraz last year, that's fun. That's tennis that I would watch. But the problem is he doesn't produce that kind of tennis day in, day out, or week in, week out. It's 99% of the time he's just, like you said, he's counter punching, he's absorbing a lot of ease. He's just there like a wall. And I don't mean to say it in like a very positive way, because Medvedev in a way is also that wall / counter puncher. But then he does bring in a lot of how do I say, spice and fun to the game. Like not with his the tantrums or his rants, rather his tennis, where you see someone like him, 6'6" tall, and yet he's able to recover some of these points, which you would never expect him to. He moves so well. He hits the most outlandish winners for someone of his stature. People call him octopus for a reason. So many, I mean, you see a lot of hot shots in a lot of Medvedev matches. And again, that unorthodox style where, it's very divisive. Either people love it or people just find it really boring. But there are a lot of people who like that brand of tennis more. And even though it's sort of maybe in the same family of, say, Zverev and Hurkacz, terms of tennis, I would say Hurkacz, another player as tall who's also a counter puncher. Khachanov maybe, same kind of family tree, but Medvedev just has that much more.
A lot of very similar players coming through with stylistically. Actually, that seems to be very much the current generation, other than maybe the more dynamic ones that are breaking through from the younger ones like Alcaraz and Sinner and Musetti. So I think that's an interesting trend that's kind of come from kind of the 90s generation of tennis players. By the way, they went to a rally at the minute. Oh, Zverev hits a backhand winner because Ruud is way out of court, 30-15. But the first couple of serve points, Ruud was very much in control. He's 2 points away from this set. Yeah, there was a lot of points to cover there in that. But yeah, I think on I enjoy watching Medvedev for his personality. And very similarly, I think my bigger issues with Zverev are not to do with his tennis, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, that's of course.
Yeah.
The overarching point, but we don't want to touch up too much on that.
Yeah, it's kind of we know what we're all talking about. Backhand from Zverev to the backhand of Ruud. They're trading backhands again. Zverev changes direction, cut the lines. Ruud kind of chops the forehand into play. Then goes on the attack, a kind of neutral rally at the minute, just moving each other around. Zverev, oh my word, I don't know what he was trying to do. He was kind of tripped up there. It was almost like the ball was too close to him, trying to go for it. And he puts it into the net, 40-15, 2 set points for Casper Ruud to take control of this match. Yeah, that was an odd miss from Zverev on the backhand.
Yeah, well, he just, like you say, he tripped up.
He must have just tripped. I think he did, because it looked like he was trying to go for a big backhand, and he just was completely out of position for it. Anyway, I'm going to talk us through. I'm going to commentate on the set point. Casper Ruud serves, goes out wide. Zverev gets into play, but it's the out wide was too out wide, and Ruud has to serve again. It might have actually been a let by the look of it, because he's picked up a new ball rather than taking another one out of his pocket.
Yeah, it is let, I think.
It was let. Okay, so let on set point. So first serve again. Ruud again goes out wide. So Zverev forehand. Ruud attacks on his forehand. It's too good. The +1 is too good. And Casper Ruud leads 6-3, 6-4.
2 sets to love. I mean, he's in firm control of this match right now.
Yeah.
Too solid, too good when it matters most. And that's just how has he been at his best? No, but he's doing exactly what's needed.
I'm a little surprised. Like a little bit surprised. To be honest.
Kind of did expect it to be 1 set all by this point, but
yeah. I thought it would be 1 set all. I thought it would be in a much more competitive position. And now we're sat here and we're contemplating a 3-seed versus 4-seed final. Djokovic versus Ruud.
When was the last time that happened? I remember 2012 Wimbledon.
Yeah.
Federer and Murray.
Probably was that, but I don't remember all the seedings off the top of my head, so I'd have to look it up. Certainly, I mean, look, that's interesting to me. Is that if Casper Ruud gets to a 3rd Grand Slam final, that's more major finals than Tsitsipas has reached. That's more major finals than Zverev has reached. Surely, I mean, at what point does it get to reaching too many Grand Slam finals to not eventually win one? I'm not saying he's going to win this one because I think Novak would be too strong. But at what point do you go, surely he's... I'm like, has anyone been to 3 Grand Slam finals on the men's side and not won one?
I'm
not saying you would know that off the top of your head.
Yeah, I can't think of one.
No, I can't either.
Interesting. Yeah, well, I know 2. Tsitsipas has made 2 finals.
Yeah, he's...
Team made 3 finals before winning the 4th. Medvedev won his 3rd. Yeah, Andy Murray, I guess, for a while before he won his first final.
Yeah, same with Lendl.
Yep.
Yeah, maybe we need to consider it as a possibility that someone can reach. Let's have a look. Yeah, someone can reach 3 Grand Slam finals and not win it. But maybe we can take it as, is Casper Ruud winning a major title inevitable?
At some point it would be.
Yeah, I mean, does he have the same? Like, okay, so we talk about Tsitsipas and like we talk about Zverev in the past as someone who's been tipped for Grand Slams and he just can't break through against the top 10 in the biggest titles. Tsitsipas has got matchup issues with everyone ranked above him, or anyone who's really going to matter that's ranked above him. Because Djokovic, he's not going to beat. Alcaraz has got his number. I think Sinner's going to turn their rivalry around. Holger Rune seems to have his number as well.
Medvedev, another one.
Medvedev, yeah. But what about Ruud? Like, does Ruud have that same problem?
No, not really. With Nadal and Djokovic and Alcaraz, he's he's beaten Zverev, he's beaten Tsitsipas, he's beaten Holger, who he's bossing right now, 5-1.
Which he shouldn't be, but somehow he is.
Yeah, exactly. I guess, going, even though Holger was not even the top 20 in, say, their first 4 meetings, it does matter at some point. Will Holger turn it around? Could, Novak also at one point was 2-5 against Tsonga. We know what happened after. But yeah. And I think Federer was also behind in the head-to-head against Hewitt, was he?
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah.
Initially.
And he turned that around as well.
I suppose with Ruud,
I think Ruud wouldn't have that issue. Well, who knows, right? Like, we'll have around. He's not taking a set really of Djokovic in 4 meetings. But yeah, like I said, you just it just It depends on factors as well. I think if Djokovic plays close to his best, or even two break points already for Casper Ruud in the opening game of the third set.
Yeah.
This again is what we spoke about earlier, whereas Zverev has this tendency to just wane away from matches when things are not going his way after some close games.
Oh, that's a wild backhand. Zverev kind of came in to the net to try and hit it. He just took it out the air, and it was beyond the baseline. Ruud breaks.
That was atrocious. And Casper Ruud is up a break in the third.
All right. Well, let's go back to John's question. If it's Ruud, does he have a chance in the final?
I'll get my personal feelings out first. I'm a huge Novak fan. Everyone knows that. I'm also a Casper Ruud fan. So that being said, I would love for Novak to win his third RG title. But at the same time, I can watch that match just with no stress whatsoever, because I know that even if Novak loses, it's Casper Ruud who he's losing to, and he's going to get not only his first big title, but a Grand Slam title, which I would love for him, honestly. I would be sad that if it does come, it would be at the expense of Novak. But that being said, I would be completely at peace with the outcome regardless, although obviously I would root for Novak. Does he have a chance? Well, let's hope he's able to take sets to begin with, which I think he can. No reason why he cannot. Their matches on clay were pretty closely contested, I would say, especially the first one, Rome 2020, where Ruud served for the first set, had a couple of set points. Obviously lost in straights, but he can, I would say, trouble Novak on the surface. But then this Novak is just too heavy a favorite. Okay, love 30 here.
Yeah. So Ruud's gone off the boil again. A little bit like he did when he broke early in the first set, actually.
Yeah.
So let's not count this match is done and dusted yet.
No, not yet. It's just still one break in the third, like I mentioned. So
okay, critical point here. So Casper Ruud is going to be serving into the deuce court at love 30, goes out wide with the serve. It's unreturnable. Zverev puts beyond the baseline. It's 15-30. So good sort of the recovery begins here for Casper Ruud. If depending on how successful it is. Let's see how this point goes. Ruud's bouncing the ball. He's pretty happy with how that last point went. Can he get this one to go his way? Goes up the middle. Zverev, but the ball's long. So Ruud gets ready to serve. What's he got? Oh, okay. It seems the crowd's getting involved here because Zverev's standing up. He's no longer ready. Now they're getting back to it. There's not much of a crowd, actually. But anyway, Ruud goes up the middle, then goes inside out with a forehand of the Zverev backhand. They're trading backhands. I'm saying that a lot this match. Ruud decides to slice that one. Zverev hits the inside out forehand. Ruud, oh my word! I thought that was going out, that backhand up the line.
Yeah, I just saw that. It looked like it was going wide, and it drops in the last second.
Yeah, like Zverev starts coming in, rushing Ruud. Ruud just threads the needle, and I thought, that backhand's going in the tram lines, and nope, bounces pretty much on the line. 30-all. Great get from Ruud. Great digging himself. Great job. He's got himself back to parity with Zverev. Still a bit of tension, though. Goes up the middle with that first serve. This one's in. Then tries to get back with the forehand. They're trading forehands at the minute right now. Zverev goes up the line with the forehand of the Ruud backhand, which is looped up. Zverev attacked with his backhand, comes into the net. Zverev is now going to counter drop shot. Ruud comes in, finishes it because that drop shot was not good enough. It was right in the middle of the court, and Ruud just passed in with the forehand. 40-30.
Yeah, I don't know what he was thinking with that. Again, attempted a drop volley, I think.
Yeah. I see. I can see why, because Ruud was way of court. If it had been a good drop shot, he would have struggled to get to it. But it was so deep and so high. Ruud just had all the options with it. So we're on to game point now after love 30. So Ruud's going to be hoping that he gets that first serve in play, gets the inside out forehand back towards Zverev, who goes up the line with the backhand. Ruud forehand cross court, dictating with the forehand, moving Zverev around. Zverev drags the backhand wide. game, Ruud. 2-love, third set. It's 2 sets to love.
Another big game going the way of Casper Ruud. The only big sort of game, which is not even big in hindsight because Zverev got broken right away, was, I guess, the third game of the match, where Zverev broke at for his fourth opportunity. Since then, it's all of the big points have been going the way of Casper Ruud.
Mm. Going back a little bit to what we were discussing earlier about matchups and Ruud, I mean, don't forget, he did push Alcaraz in that US Open final, and had he not flunked that third set tiebreak, could have been up in that final 2-1, and then it might have been a very different story of how that one played out. I think Ruud has it in him to beat Alcaraz, depending on how bad a day Alcaraz is having, and I think he has it in him to beat pretty much anyone else off the top guys. I'm including Medvedev in that. Maybe again, backhand to backhand, Medvedev is way better. It's not like this Zverev matchup, but could wear Ruud down a little bit more on that side. But yeah, I think that Ruud may have the game that he could get that major title against one of his rivals.
Yeah, could happen for sure.
I don't see it happening.
Could it happen now? Who knows? But
I think Djokovic is too strong.
Yeah, me too. I just don't see any scenario where he wins. That is Ruud.
Yeah. I think we're going to be talking about Djokovic kind of record holder, leading the slam race, having won at least 3 times at every slam. I don't think any other players have done that
for the very first time.
Sorry? Yeah, you're right.
For the very first time.
And I think probably he's not going to give up the lead. I think Nadal's done in the slam race.
Yeah, probably not. Unless you just never know, right?
Oh, lovely lob from Casper Ruud. That's a lovely little cat and mouse point. Zverev. Oh my word! I don't know. That was lovely cat and mouse from Zverev, but puts the lob attempted running behind
long half a chance for Ruud to get the double break. And yeah, Zverev is quickly fading away from this.
Yeah, definitely. If you look at the last, Ruud's been dominating a lot of the last few points. He does seem to be a lot more in control of this now. Just being a bit too strong for Zverev. And I think, interestingly, would this put Ruud as being unbeaten in major semi-finals? I think it would. I don't think Ruud's ever lost a Grand Slam semi. Ruud tried his own drop shot, and puts that in the net.
Yeah.
It's catching. He had an opportunity because if that works, that might have given him that was potentially break point.
Yep. Yeah, Ruud hasn't yet lost a slam semi. He's 2 out of 2.
Mm-hmm.
Both of his wins. If funny story. If he wins this, all of his 3 slam semis wins would have come against opponents 6'6" tall.
Has Vance entered the room?
There's Cilic, there's Khachanov, and then this would be Zverev. So
I don't know how you have players' height to memorize. I don't even know how tall anyone is. I don't even know how tall Federer is.
Well, he's 6'1".
Okay.
Yeah. Zverev has a game point. Ruud would have really liked to have that point again, I guess, at 15-30.
For sure. I think, hopefully he doesn't get in his head, but I don't think he's going to see it's too much of a missed opportunity. It was only love 30. It wasn't break point. But we'll see how it goes. Zverev goes up the middle with his serve. Ruud gets it back into play. Zverev attacks on the forehand. Ruud's way behind the baseline. They're trading forehands. Now they're backhand up the line from Ruud. Zverev triggers the forehand across court, then goes backhand cross court off the Ruud up the line. Drop shot from Ruud. Zverev comes in. Ruud lobs it up. Zverev's going to try and get the overhead, but he puts it in the net. The Zverev overhead in the net. Should have got it. And
there's no way he should have lost that point. Yeah. Well,
and it's interesting the dynamic of that shifted because you can tell how much pressure Zverev is under because he was all over the net in the first set and a bit, and he was very comfortable there. And a lot of his critical errors have now been coming from the net. We can definitely say that in the second set and potentially in this set as well. So deuce on the Alexander Zverev serve, the 22nd seed from Germany, who's matching his result from the last 2 years at Roland Garros, goes out wide with the serve. Forehand looped up from Ruud, but it's way out. It was unreturnable from Zverev. That was too good. Right on the line. Advantage to the German. His golden chain poking out of his shirt as usual, as it seems to always come loose, has to put it back under his shirt. Don't know why it bothers. I'd find that so much faff while trying to play tennis. Having to worry about all that jewelry.
He has the teeth to keep biting them as well. So
maybe it's to stop him from biting other things. Like
probably. And he also tends to lift his shirt each time he tosses the ball and prepares for his serve.
Zverev tries to finish at the net inside out forehand. Ruud lifts it up overhead from Zverev, balloons it over the baseline. It's another missed overhead. I wouldn't even I know there's people on Twitter who joke about, like Owen, jokes about the Joker smash. That doesn't even nowhere near that is way worse. What just happened there?
Yep.
That's something that would happen if I tried to hit that over.
And this has happened thrice in the same game. 3 missed smashes.
So yeah, maybe next time Zverev's going to let it drop before trying to hit it, which is going to give Ruud time to get back into position. Backhand returning to play, going to the backhand, trading backhands cross court. Zverev changes direction with the backhand. Ruud cross court forehand, and Zverev, that's such a good forehand because it just dropped so much spin. Zverev way out of court, couldn't do anything about it. Advantage Ruud. Now he's got that break point. Now he's worked it for it. Here we go. That forehand, just too good from Casper Ruud. Just too good. And
he found the best angle possible. I don't know how he did that. And then also clipped part of the line. Obviously, lines are nailed down to the court and whatnot.
Could have hit it now, I suppose. First serve into the net from Zverev. And he's definitely looking very frustrated right now. What's he going to bring? What's he going to bring to this? Second serve, Ruud with break points. Waiting patiently, tensely. Oh, it's a double fault. It is a double fault from Alexander Zverev to concede a double break.
Yep. He's capitulated. I mean, this is exactly what Ruud would have wanted, and he's gotten it. It's just, it's 3 holes from here. Probably 2. You never know. But yeah.
Winning Estoril seems like good prep for RG. Yeah, I think that Estoril win put Ruud back on the map for me. Here's a question I wanted to ask you ages ago, but it seems to be relevant. So obviously, I do WTA power rankings pre Roland Garros. If you'd have done an ATP power ranking, where would you have put Ruud going into Roland Garros?
I would have put him. So I had Alcaraz, Djokovic, Medvedev at the time.
Yeah,
Tsitsipas. Probably below Holger Rune at 6th.
So 6th.
Yeah.
6th max.
I thought Holger would have gained confidence. Wait, is it raining? I think that. Oh no, it's not. I just saw covers on the outer courts for some reason.
No, I just think they're not being used.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, I thought that would give Holger confidence for if he met Casper, which he did, and he was a no-show for a significant part of that match, which significant is in the first 2 sets. And when you're a no-show for that long, it's just too late to do anything after that, unless your opponent has a significant drop in level and just disappears.
Yeah.
So yeah,
kind
maybe
of Willem Correa 2004 style.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I would have loved if that happened during the tennis Twitter era. Something like that. 6-love, 6-3 up. And wasn't he up a break as well in the third?
Yeah. Yeah, I think he had match point in the 5th, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. I remember that also.
So yeah, we're doing well there. But big forehand inside out winner from Ruud to open this service game. They're trading backhands again. Zverev makes that one awkward though. Ruud slices it inside out forehand from Zverev. Winner. 15 all. Just runs around the forehand and picks up the slice from Ruud and hits a winner. Very, very good. That's probably the best shot Zverev has hit for a while.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, going back to that, yeah, that was I think I agree with you. I think I would have put Rune. I think my top four going to Roland Garros would have been Alcaraz, Djokovic, not in any particular order. Alcaraz, Djokovic, Rune, Medvedev, and then yeah, I probably would do the same as you. Tsitsipas fifth, Ruud sixth. Just yeah, I think Tsitsipas matchup problems. Ruud, we just didn't know where he was, but that title in Estoril and then the run to the Rome semis was pretty impressive. But the loss to Jarry in Geneva kind of set him back a bit, probably a lot of people, but clearly didn't affect him too much. And Jarry was in form, and he got revenge in the end. Oh, out from Zverev. Actually, yeah, that would have been a very confidence-building win in the fourth round against Jarry because he came through in 3 very tight sets.
Yeah, and he also, like you mentioned, he got his revenge. And he got revenge back-to-back.
Oh, yeah, Rune as well.
Jarry, yeah, against Holger as well. So that forehand was wide.
Yeah, just missed it.
Yeah. So it's 40-15. Game point for Ruud. This is very reminiscent of Zverev from say 2018-19, especially 19 when he lost to Raonic at the Australian Open. I don't know if you remember that match. It was like 6-1, 6-1, 7-6. The
only things I remember from the 2019 Australian Open were Tsitsipas beating Federer, and then Nadal beating Tsitsipas, and then Djokovic demolishing Nadal in that final.
Right.
And producing an unbelievable level, really, in that final.
True.
But usually if I need to remember something, I usually come to you. Scott is now reminding us why Andy Murray is the best of 2023 so far.
Oh. Right, I just saw that. I mean, obviously, I did reply to him.
Anyway, we seem to be at deuce because Casper Ruud, because Casper Ruud couldn't pick up because Zverev just hit a backhand winner. I saw the score before I saw the shot, and I was like, "Oh, what happened there?" But yeah, Zverev working the point and hitting a backhand winner, trying to get one of the breaks back.
Yeah.
It felt like Ruud. It was a tentative 40-15 because I think Ruud was up in the game because he was benefiting from some Zverev errors. Zverev error. There we go. That's rolls off the tongue nicely. So that's how it goes. Oh my word! Big forehand up the middle from Ruud, unreturnable advantage to Casper Ruud for a 4-love lead.
Oh, you meant so? Okay, since I'm a couple of seconds behind when you said a big forehand up the middle, I was a bit confused.
Yeah, big serve. Big serve.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Sometimes I say forehand when I mean serve. I don't know why I do it. My brain just thinks, oh, that's a forehand.
Right, okay. I mean, I guess that makes sense.
Unreturnable serve again, up the tee from Ruud. Game 4-love.
4-love. Okay, yeah. This is.
Oh, wait, no, the umpire's checking. No, it was out. It was wide. It's wide.
Oh, okay. Second serve.
Yeah. Umpire came down to check the mark. It's the second time in this game. First 2 times in the whole match, the umpire's been off the chair. So second serve in the box from Ruud, kicks up, backhand to the Zverev backhand. Then Ruud's got a great opportunity to tee up a forehand. Zverev puts it in the net. That was just a big forehand, and it was going to be a chance for anyone to get that back. Now it's 4-love. We don't need to worry about getting ahead of ourselves.
Yep. Big, possibly incoming.
Do you think that's likely?
Pretty likely, especially considering how Zverev's previous service game panned out. 3 missed smashes and those wild backhand misses. Was that the same game?
Maybe
It was.
I'm not great at remembering these things. I just go with
Yeah. I used to be sharper, but it just slips my mind. Like,
You're getting old, Trahiri.
older. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Face
Yeah.
it, your powers are weakening.
There you go. Love 15. Zverev hits a backhand, approaches the net. Ruud didn't even do much with his backhand, and Zverev can't do anything on the volley. Love 15.
Yeah, big. So yeah, maybe the bagel is incoming, but we'll see. Off the top of the net and out from Zverev. That was a very tight first serve from him. Not good at all. Second serve in play, but really short. Zverev kind of, that return from Ruud. Zverev kind of chops it, and love 30. And this is kind of, that's almost lethargic from Zverev. It's he's definitely checking out of this. Weird shot choices. What's going to happen now? First serve in play. Zverev's now got the chance to tee off with a backhand, but again, it's quite short. They're trading it. Then Zverev comes in, inside out backhand winner, 15-30. But again, odd, like just opportunity to finish it and end up finishing it with quite a hard shot, really. His head, I don't know where his head's at right now, Zverev.
He wishes he was anywhere but here.
Third consecutive semi-final loss in a row. Roland Garros. Potentially incoming. Oh my word, that's a shanked forehand from Zverev. Loops up and out. I'm not sure if that was a Zverev forehand or the Tsitsipas backhand. 15-40, break points. Sorry, was that cruel?
I liked it. Love for 15-40. Zverev again, just hasn't done anything in this entire match.
Big return from Ruud. Zverev was trying to come in, and Ruud wins the point.
Wow.
Game.
Okay, 5 love for Ruud, and he will serve for a place in the final for the second consecutive year.
Yeah, the 2020 US Open semi-finals ended up being, at the end, the women's semi-finals yesterday were much more exciting than. I don't think it only went flat in the third set of Alcaraz Djokovic. Really, the first 2 sets were magnetic. But we were on good paths. And hey, it was a good result. It was an interesting result in the women's doubles earlier with Taylor Townsend and Leila Fernandez beating Jessica Pegula and Coco Gauff in what was more one-sided than everyone expected. It was supposed to be a bit of a battle, but they've got the chance to win a major title together, but they've got to get through Shea and Wong in the final. We've got plenty of finals to preview as well. Not least this one. It's likely that it's Novak Djokovic versus Casper Ruud. It's going to be an interesting one. I mean, we're expecting Zverev to lose here. This is his 3rd consecutive Roland Garros semi-final. Is this going to be kind of like Tsitsipas the Australian Open? He's eventually got to get to the final at some point, right?
I hope not, but maybe. Maybe. It just depends. I mean, for Tsitsipas, you could argue that he got Nadal and Medvedev in his first 3.
Yeah.
And then he did get Tsitsipas, Nadal, and Ruud. You would have favored Ruud. Not that Ruud's an excellent player.
Well, clearly, as we saw as he went to the opening point of the game with a monster forehand winner and then an unreturnable serve to go 30 love up. So maybe let's continue this conversation after the end of the match.
Right. Yeah. Let's
finish over very quickly.
It's gonna be done soon.
Yeah, and then we'll do a little bit of a wrap up and then call it. But 30 love. Casper Ruud serving 2 points away from a second consecutive Roland Garros final against a different member of the big 3 to last time. Maybe the one he's less of a fanboy of. Second serve in play, backhand from Ruud to the backhand as Zverev goes up the line. Forehand Ruud lifted up. Maybe the tension's getting to him a bit. backhand to Ruud, the Zverev backhand, who's kind of accelerating through. Ruud's just defending as best he can. Zverev hits a forehand winner up the line, 30-15. There was a little bit of tension in there from Casper Ruud.
Yep. Yeah, you could see he was tight and tentative, but still 30-15 up.
Yeah, let's see.
Two big serves, and he's done.
That is true. And he was hitting the first two pretty confidently. Oh, big serve out wide. Job done. 40-15. That's half of the big serves he needed to use. One more. 2 match points for the number 4 seed, defending finalist, Casper Ruud from Norway. 2 hours and 8 minutes on the clock. It's been more straightforward than we expected. Ruud serves into the net. Second serve. The ball boy scampers to his station. Ruud serves into the box. Forehand from Ruud. Very, very short. Zverev picks up on the backhand. Ruud tries to go up with the line with the forehand. And Zverev just has him on the defense. Ruud puts the forehand into the high part of the net. 40-30. Again, little bit of tightness. You've gone robot, Shriri. We may have lost Shriri. I'm going to take him out for the moment, and he'll be back in when he's fixed. Ruud goes inside out on the forehand. Winner! Match point! And he points to his eyes. He looks up at the sky in relief, pulls off his headband, walks to the net to meet his defeated opponent. Casper Ruud is the Roland Garros finalist of 2023, and he will play Novak Djokovic in the final. In a match that, Djokovic Ruud before the tournament. Yeah, you're back.
Right. Now that the match's officially done, I have to say that what's with the eye celebration?
I don't know.
Right. He did it again after the shake hand. But
Interesting.
I have to say, this time I hope nobody says anything about Ruud having an easy draw and whatnot, because coming through Jari, Rune, and Zverev consecutively is no joke. And
Agreed.
especially 2 players who beat him the last time he met them in a row. Those are the players who his last 2 defeats came against. Zverev, of course, 2-time former semi-finalist here, winner of 3 big titles on clay, finding his groove again. This was a big win, and that was an exceptional performance from his side of the net. Atrocious from Zverev, of course. Nobody expected this blowout. But yeah, well, Casper Ruud as another crack it's a 3rd Grand Slam final, going ahead of both Zverev and Tsitsipas.
Yeah.
And could he just be the player who sort of steps up more than, say, the likes of Zverev and Tsitsipas have? I mean, he is younger by a bit, but at the rate things are going, he could wind up with a better career than those 2. It's what I think. Because it's only a matter of time before something clicks and he gets that big title. And once he does, that scar tissue is not the same anymore. But obviously it's always been an uphill task for him in the big finals. Always. It's Alcaraz, Nadal, or Djokovic. And he's played 2 big finals against Alcaraz, second one upcoming against Djokovic, and one against Nadal. So there's that. But
what was the other big final he played again? Oh, Miami.
Yeah. Of course, the US Open final was closely contested. He had those set points in the 3rd set. Could have really gone either way. It was a pretty close 4-setter.
I think by the balance of probability, I think either Casper Ruud is eventually going to win a Grand Slam, probably Roland Garros.
Yeah, me too.
Or he's going to be that unfortunate person who's going to be going down as one of the best never to win one.
I do think he will at some point. I'm just because when you have these many runs and these many cracks, at some point you're gonna get that, because we can't make that argument to, at least to that extent, for Zverev, who's been around for so long and has made just one slam final.
Yeah. Yeah. At the moment, I think he might make another one, probably again here. Maybe this is a preview of a future Roland Garros final between Ruud and Zverev. That's not out the realms of possibility.
Not really, no. Yeah.
So we'll have to see what happens. But Zverev, probably a little bit disappointed about how that ended. He just didn't have enough against Ruud and then capitulated. So we'll have to see what happens coming up. I mean, look, we're talking about it like, can he do it? I mean, is there anything Casper Ruud can do to bother Novak Djokovic in the final?
His forehand has to be firing throughout that contest. He needs to put Djokovic in a spot of bother with his serve and try to get free points. And again, I think he should try to dominate the rallies with his forehand, basically. Try to take initiative, like what we saw Alcaraz do for the better part, I would say, of the first couple of sets. His forehand was just so I'm just trying to also watch what he's trying to say. But yeah, Alcaraz's forehand was just amazing today, until obviously he started cramping. Obviously Ruud, I would say he does have an elite forehand. Does it have enough of that bite to bother Djokovic? Also depends on the conditions. What the slower conditions would favor Novak more. That being said, I still think he's a heavy favorite. Djokovic could struggle if, say the matches conditions are windy and it's sunny and the ball's bouncing high up, and Ruud is more stable and he is playing the clutch points well. We could have a result like Djokovic against Khachanov, for example, where for majority of the first two sets Djokovic is the inferior player and then he turns it around and wins it. I think that's probably as far as I would go. I just don't see Ruud winning. I see him taking a set though.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's reasonable. It'd be interesting to see. It'd be interesting to see what happens. I think, judging by the scenario you paint, I think the likelihood is that Novak Djokovic is the heavy favorite to win the Roland Garros final on Sunday, where he and be a 23-time major champion and 3-time Roland Garros champion, which will put him in the top 10 all time at the tournament.
Yep.
And one other thing, halfway to the calendar slam. For the third time.
For the third time, yes. Nadal won the first two last year, but Djokovic has done it twice before. He could do it for the third time. He had cracks at it 2 times before, 2012, 2015 as well. 2019, yeah, sure. He reached the semis, so maybe not one match away, but regardless. Yeah, that's going to be back in the debate again, and especially with all of the restrictions eased up in the US, so it's no longer a question of whether or not he can be there. He will be there. Will Wimbledon spring any sort of surprise? That's also to be seen. But yeah.
Excuse me.
My cough has gotten to you somehow, I guess.
Apparently it's a computer virus.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, there's some damning stats for Alexander Zverev on the screen. All right. So tomorrow is the women's final.
Do I give Mukova
yeah. Building up to that.
I don't.
Really?
I think I see a pretty comfortable win for Iga, mainly because Mukova was sort of struggling towards the end of that match against Sabalenka physically. That could play a part. Iga, again, she's just mentally also she has such a stranglehold on most of the tour. The players who can trouble her and potentially beat her just not there. Yeah, heavy favorite.
Okay.
She's been here before, four times. Well, this will be, I guess, her fourth final. She's won her 3 previous finals. Doesn't lose finals to begin with, much. So there's that.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, there's a few things in there that I think Mukova has a chance, but I would agree with you that Swiatek is the heavy favourite.
Mhm.
But the fan in me is trying not to say this out loud because I don't want to say anything that like brings it down. Like, you know what I mean? Like, do you ever have any like reservations about saying Novak Djokovic is the heavy favorite, or maybe more likely Daniel Medvedev is the heavy favorite?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have reservations as long as I'm saying something that's based on statistics, and based on circumstances and head-to-heads and whatnot.
Mhm.
What I would shy away from saying is like stating my opinions on certain players. Zverev, for example, we didn't want to go too deep into why
Neither
people
of us
don't
like
like
you.
watching him. Yeah,
Yeah,
that I have my kind of reservations about. But
yeah.
other than that, no, not really.
Okay. Well, tomorrow is the women's final, and it will be. I think it's 1 p.m. UK time, 2 p.m. CET,
Mhm.
and then what would that be? Your time, 5 p.m.
4
Is it
p.m.
7 p.m. Your 4 p.m. Dubai
Yeah,
time?
yeah.
And it's going to be so for those of you on the East Coast, we're looking at a 9 a.m. start. Yeah. So okay. So 3 o'clock start on
Oh, so that would be 5 p.m.
CET,
here.
2 p.m. UK. That's 10 a.m. start East Coast and so 7 a.m. start for the West Coast. So nice thing to wake up to. Should be a lot of fun. And Swiatek Mukova, and it's going to be brought to you by John and myself. So if you want to watch me be a nervous wreck live on stream, then tune in. And I'm looking forward to it. I think we're going to it's going to be a well of a time. We're going to talk tennis, and it's going to be a good time, especially if, like some of our audience, you can't follow it that closely. So, Srihari, thank you for joining us today on Talking Tennis and going through the second semi-final. I think we were both hoping that we had the Alcaraz-Djokovic match, but the schedulers decided to go with kind of logistics over what would be cool.
That's true. I mean, I
Actually,
also, at the very least, hope for a regular match rather than what happened, and then Alcaraz managing to win just one game out of the next, I want to say 13 or 14. But yeah, nonetheless, I mean, it was a pleasure as always joining you. RG, of course, is coming to an end. It's probably my last time here for this tournament. Grass season is still around the corner. It's going to be pretty exciting, especially because Harley and Queens are not too far away, and we have pretty
it's the week
stacked
after. So
fields.
we've got to get through Stuttgart and Herzogenbusch. On the ATP side, WTA is going to be Rosmalen and Nottingham. Okay, yeah, there's some suggestions that we might have Surbiton final coverage. John, I love the enthusiasm, but it's probably not worth it if Andy Murray's not in it, right?
I'm pretty sure he knew what he was doing with that. But yeah, well, I would definitely love to be back for the grass season. Yeah, like
And
you
you and
mentioned,
I
there
will
is, of
probably
course, Stuttgart.
you and
What was
I
that?
you and I will probably be recording a popcorn tennis podcast at some point.
Yeah, we should, of course. We should like, should we? Yeah. We could
Text me
only
after the
talk so much.
stream.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, like I mentioned, there's Stuttgart. I completely forgot about Stuttgart, and the other tournament in Netherlands, where obviously last year we had that story of Tim van Rijthoven,
Yes.
out of nowhere winning the title. And
Still,
yeah, I'm really excited for Harley because of the field. It's just stacked like it was last year. And I'm again excited to see what Medvedev does on the surface. Really.
I have opinions about Halle. I will wait for actual grass season to share them.
Right. Fair enough.
All right. Thanks everyone for watching. And we will we'll see you soon. See you tomorrow for the women's final. And like and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. Thanks everyone for watching. Take care and keep talking tennis.
Yep. Thank you for joining.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.